Nottingham Forest 3, Tottenham Hotspur 0. A gutless, embarrassing, ill-prepared, woeful, disgraceful, disgusting performance to a man, with the exception possibly of one player, but even then, I'm reaching. Outworked, outdominated, and outclassed by a team that sits 17th, well, they did before today. Serious questions have to be asked about the setup. Serious questions have to be asked about the instructions. Serious questions have to be asked about the substitutions or lack thereof, the timeliness of them. And I genuinely not sure if this one could just be put down to a bad day at the office. The passing was erratic, incoherent decision-making at times, and some truly astonishingly poor decision-making throughout the first, second, and third phase of play. We didn't win any second balls. We didn't win many first balls. There were some absolute stinkers in our first 11, and yet nothing changed. Nothing changed. I said before the game that if we're going to play to players like Richarlison's strengths, we are playing into Forest's strengths, and they have a better supremacy at those things than we do. We need to figure out a different plan than just to go Richarlison, Muwani, Kudus, do a little take on, lump the ball in. You know what? That was part of the issue because Murillo and Milenkovic just gobbled everything up. But from the third minute, the first 2 minutes, it was a man-to-man press. It was a man-to-man press. Once again, Tottenham get undone by a well-executed press of desire, determination, and physicality and stamina. They didn't drop. They didn't drop off their for the entire 90 minutes. They didn't even sit back and protect their lead. They didn't have to. They didn't have to. Because we offered absolutely nothing. Our midfield were absolutely atrocious today. And we all know that Elliot Anderson's a baller, right? But Sangare is a player that's just a physical guy. Yes, he scored a worldie. He's a good player, but he's not a top draw player. He's not a top level. He's not going to get into any top 4 teams anywhere. And we absolutely conceded that. We conceded the midfield. Micky van der Ven. I mean, I'm going to come to the players. I'll come to the players. But I've never seen such a gutless performance since the last gutless performance, which wasn't that long ago. We were getting gassed up. We were getting gassed up by the momentum. By the way, Sunderland, there's a team, right? Sunderland, there's a team that don't have superstars, but that fight and want and have desire and ambition and aggression and are organised. And they've just beaten Newcastle at the Stadium of Light 1-0. Newcastle going mental. Sunderland, the sum is greater than the parts at Sunderland. Right? The sum is greater than the parts at Bournemouth for the most part. And they've fallen off. The sum is greater than the parts at many teams in the Premier League. But Tottenham Hotspur is not one of them. It's not one of them. We've got Liverpool next. And they're starting to turn things around. And I don't know what I'm going to say in this rant. I don't know what I'm going to say because I'm going ad-lib here. But I genuinely am fed up. I'm fed up. Are the team good enough? Are the players not good enough? Yes, they are. No, they're not. We're capable of more than what we just saw. And it's because the sum is not greater than the parts. Because there's no coherence. There's no game plan. There's no effort. There's no desire. There's no will. It was pathetic. It was pathetic today. And I'm not having it that it was just a bad day at the office. Okay, if you're going to tell players you're up against the man-to-man press, Jedley King, go and sit in the 10 again. Float around. Draw players out of position like you did against Slavia Prague. Right? If you're going to do that against the Premier League team, you have to have a game plan of what that looks like, not just figure it fucking out. Well, that's what we suffered for 2 years under Ange Postecoglou. That's what we suffered for 2 years under Ange Postecoglou. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed in that regard. And I I'm lost for words with how bad that was. I really am. Absolutely lost for words. Guys, smash the like button for me if you're feeling like I am. I'm angry. I don't know what I'm going to say. I genuinely feel like I'm going to fucking go mental. I'm so fed up with seeing just gutless performances. It's not like it was against. I mean, not that Chelsea and Arsenal, etc., were like acceptable on any level, because they weren't. They were not acceptable at all. They were atrocious. But at least to some degree, if you're blinkered by just the names on the team sheet and you're not watching the game and the phases and the desire to get on the ball and to win things and to have a little bit of determination and a little bit of pride in your own performance, at least you could put. Some people could say, well, they're just better than us. Nottingham Forest aren't, right? They've got some decent players, but so do we. But they wanted it more today. And if you listen to the crowd the entire game, by the way, if you listen to the crowd the entire game, they thought that the 12th man was on our side. The referee was on our side. We're going to talk about it right now. Smash the like button, guys. Smash the subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Drop your comments. Keep them respectful. Big up to you all for coming in. I'm going to do a couple of super chats. In fact, before I do these super chats, big up to Blaine and Moondog. Good to see you guys. Let me just hang on. I mean, look, it's one of those moments where you start to question whether or not you have the patience. It is one of those moments, right? Like I say, I haven't been Frank out. Sorry, I haven't been Frank out. I'm not Frank out either. But I'd certainly look at those sorts of efforts, these sorts of performances, and think, I'm not sure what it is that you're thinking during that game. Because the players are responsible for what they do on the pitch, but he's responsible for who it is that's on the pitch. And he's responsible for who it is that can come on the pitch in the half-time whistle, or in the 50th minute, or the 55th minute, or the 60th minute, or the 65th minute. And the fact that the first substitution that you made was to take off the only player in the Tottenham shirt that actually put any effort in today, in Jed Spence, for Ben Davies, when you're 2-0 down and you're deciding to bring on Berghvall and Polinia 2-0 down, and you think that that's going to get you back in the game. Like, how little confidence must he have in Mathys Tel? How little confidence he must have if Richalison, who can't time a jump, I don't know what was going on there. It's absolutely fucking shambolic. Let's have a look at the super chats, guys. And we'll do some stats and stuff as well. Look for the players. I've had better performances from my bowel movements at 7-8. There's more passion and energy in my big toe. The amount of times players were statues, decision-making, shocking. No plan B from Frank. We didn't have a plan A today, Blaine. I appreciate you, mate. We didn't have a plan A. We didn't win any second balls. We weren't even competing for the second balls. I don't think we were competing for the first balls for the most part. Romero threw himself around, but Romero's main interest was trying to unsettle Igor Jesus, and in so doing got pulled out of position. Micky van der Ven was entirely anonymous today. Like, I don't think I saw him do anything. Did he make a clearance? Did he make a tackle? Did he make a block? Did he make an interception? He certainly did it in the first half. He gave the ball away just as much as others. Every time he tried to progress the ball, they were on us. Like, you can't buy dedication. You can't buy commitment. You can't buy the will. You have to convince players that they need to be up for it. And we weren't up for it at all, which is unacceptable. We don't have a game now for 7 days. Forest played on Thursday. They played on Thursday. We played on Tuesday in a relatively easy, or slightly combative, but a relatively easy game, 3-0 victories. They made us look worse than Slavia Prague. And this is 17th placed Forest. I have to put a poll out. I know people are emotional. I'm always emotional right now, so I'm sure the poll will change in the morning when people calm down. But it's just not acceptable on any level. Moondog, big up to you, Blaine. Thank you very much for that super chat, my man. Moondog says, "Deja vu, Sean. I'm sick of the same crap. So boring." 100%, mate. Like you get caught up, don't you? Like the momentum just shifts a little bit. You get 2-2 against Newcastle. You probably don't deserve it really, but you get back into it, but only because of Romero really wanting to do something against Guimaraes so he could do his celebration thing. Then you go and beat Brentford, and Brentford were awful. Brentford were woeful. Like they didn't turn up. Then you beat Slavia Prague, who obviously have shockingly bad Champions League form, a physical team, but that's about it. Not only did Nottingham Forest play on Thursday, they had to travel to Holland. They had to travel to Holland, and they came back and looked like they were the fresh team. They looked like they hadn't played in 2 weeks. They were in warm weather training. It's just unacceptable to put that out, and I'm almost concerned about what I'm going to hear from Thomas Frank. If he dares to say that we played well, if he dares to try to spin this in anything other than it's not good enough, it's unacceptable, and because it wasn't just the mistakes, by the way. It wasn't just the mistakes. If he tries to pin this on a couple of mistakes cost us, fuck off. Fuck right off. They could have put 4 past us in the first half. There was their first chance in the 3rd minute that hit the post. Hit the post? Yeah, hit the post, and it fell to Neco Williams. Pulls a decent save. 3 minutes in. About 16 minutes in, Milenkovic wins the free header. Just glances wide. Later on in the first half, you had that kind of, was it a back heel? I forget what it was. It was some sort of moment of magic from Morgan Gibbs-White that just runs short. It should have been a corner kick, that one, right? The kind of flick behind his leg. They had 3 or 4 gilt-edged chances in the first half. 3 or 4. What did we have? Nothing. Archie Gray's spin pivot shot was the first fucking thing, the only thing that we had. I don't know how we got 0.35 XG, because as far as I can see, they were based on 3 or 4 block shots where we took a shot around the penalty area, but the guy who blocked it was like 6 inches in front. How does that count as XG? It's ridiculous. Big up to you, Adam Score Drawlock. I'm lost for words on today's performance. So am I, mate. So am I. Well, I'm clearly not lost for words. I'm speaking, but big up to you, Ryan Jarvis. Thank you very much, mate, for the super sticker, super chat, whatever that is. Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Let's see. I've put the link out to a few people, see if they want to come on. I'm not sure if anyone wants to, if anyone really fancies it. Johnny's going to come on. He's just walking back from the pub, I think he's saying. He's walking back to his room, maybe. I'm not sure. Connor can't come on, but yeah, it's just absolutely fucking shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. What's this one? Bookie TV 8583. Big up to you. He says, if we struggle, Bookie TV. Sorry, I'm seeing it now. But if we struggle to create play at walking pace and no one has improved, at what point is that coaching failure, regardless of who replaces Frank? Motivating your team, Bookie, is on the coach. Like, recognizing that the team was fucking dog shit in the first half is on the coach. Leaving Richarlison on the pitch when he lost every single aerial duel, and the only reason we were playing a certain way was because he was on the pitch and can't do anything else with the ball at his feet, is on the coach. Waiting until we were 2-0 down to make your first substitutions and taking the only player in the Tottenham team that was any good off, replacing him with Ben Davies, who's not exactly known for his creative spark, and replacing 2 midfielders that should have been off at half-time, if not earlier, is on the coach. Waiting until we were 3-0 down to bring on Mathys Tel is on the coach. It's on the coach. A lot of it's not. Like the players were fucking dreadful. Dan, how you doing, mate? Get up to you, buddy. You okay?
Oh, I'm all right. I mean, where'd you go with that one? That was a bad game. no skill, no passion, no idea of what they want to do. Frank looked totally lost as well. I think Forest done us in every which way possible. How many times we lost the ball to them? I suppose the list can go on. I think the thing I'm definitely questioning at the moment, I personally think at this moment in time, I know things ain't going to change in 5 minutes, but I think we actually look worse under Frank than we did under Ange.
I think we do as well. In terms of games like this, we're not. What are you drinking? Jesus Christ. What is that?
I needed a drink after that, so I thought, you know what? I'll go for a bit of vodka.
Straight vodka?
Yeah, I don't
fuck about.
Drinking straight, yeah. Or I'll have a bottle of Southern Comfort, one or the other.
I mean, mate, I don't know what we do on that one. I genuinely think that was just the worst effort. It's not. I mean, the effort against Chelsea and Arsenal was just shambolic. But this is Nottingham Forest, Dan. It's Nottingham Forest, mate. They're 17th. They're not a better team than Tottenham. But they made us look like we were fucking schoolboys today. Schoolboys.
It's bad. If you want to put it as a team, I mean, if you go player for player, I still think we look better than the majority of the teams in the Premier League. But if you go by actually playing as a team together, I don't even think we're in the top 10. What I'm basically saying is you can go and get the 10 best players on the planet and play them together. It doesn't mean they'll work good as a team. You can get some of the worst players if you play them the right way, the right formation to what's best for them. You can make a very average team look very good. And I mean, Van der Ven, that's probably one of the worst games I've seen him play. Archie Gray, again, proves, but I don't think he's ready yet. Vicario, definitely not up to standard. You could go through the whole list of them. I don't think there was actually one player on that pitch that actually could have walked off of there with any pride. I thought Spence was playing okay, and then he took him off. Apart from that, I thought literally everyone had a proper bad game. No one settled in from day one.
Mate, I thought from the third minute to me, I thought it looked awkward. But we spoke before the game. I said to you guys, and I think you agreed. I was like, the tactic here is going to be to set the team up to play to our strengths because Richarlison's going to be on the pitch, but we're going to play to their strengths in so doing. And they gobbled up everything. They gobbled up everything. You know, but then defensively, we didn't win a single thing at all in the middle of the park. Every single second ball went their way. Let me ask this, mate. Like, are you tempted to say where are you on the Frank situation? Do you think he's the right guy for Tottenham? Or do you sit there and think, even if you were to bring in Pep Guardiola, you know, he's not going to be able to make that much more out of this particular squad, or is he?
Honestly, I really don't know with this one at the moment. I know it's not going to happen in 5 minutes. He needs some more transfers to get something working, possibly. But I must admit, there's that other side of me where I really don't know if he's got it. I really don't. And I thought he did. At the moment, I've got a lot of questions because the thing I do ask is if we was that bad under Ange and we was blaming Ange for everything, not the players, well, how comes we're actually doing worse under Frank at this moment in time to what we were last season? And it's the players getting the blame for it, not Frank. I think that's the bit I'm trying to work out here. Was it actually not so much Ange's fault, which I do not rate him as a manager, by the way? Were the players actually worse and we was just putting it all on Ange, or a lot of us, and now sort of defending the manager and blaming it on the players? It seems like there's no in-betweener with it and that. Are the players actually significantly worse than what we think they are? Is the manager, do we defend him like people are? I'm very much on the fence with this one. I don't know if he's got it, but I suppose you're not going to be able to tell until a couple of transfers and end of the season, really.
Do you? Okay, let me ask you. In fact, guys in the chat. I'm not going to do the poll. I want to do a ones and zeros, right? Ones and zeros right now, as you feel right now. Does Thomas Frank deserve a January window? Because the context of that is, if you sack him now, then who do you bring in? It fucks up your entire plan. If you keep him and give him the money, and then you end up realizing he's not the guy anyway, then you're fucked. But to me, I'm not. I don't. I'm sitting there thinking, after performances like that, I'm thinking, by the way, I haven't even given you the ones and zeros yet. You're all putting in ones and zeros. I'll let you. One is. You're all jumping. One is giving the money. Zero is don't. Okay. Like for me, I'm sitting there thinking, like, you can't judge him until, like, he walked away from a left winger. He said, if I don't get what I want, I'd rather wait. That's what he said. And then part of the reason why he's done so badly is because he hasn't got a left winger to be able to run at, right? So if you're going to sack someone before you give them the chance to get their next guy after saying I'd rather wait, then what sort of precedent does that set for the next manager? If he doesn't get his choice, he might as well say, well, just get me someone then, because I'm not even guaranteed to make it through to the next window, right? Which is a problem. But at the same time, mate, I look at some of his fucking decisions, his tactical decisions here, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, mate. I'm usually quite like assertive in my opinion, but I really don't honestly know whether I think he's the right guy.
That's pretty much the same as me. I'm usually quite set. I'll make my mind up, go with it. This one, I just can't seem to actually make a proper decision on it. And that's just being honest. I'm on the fence with this one. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. There is decisions he's making where you're sitting there and you're just thinking, well, why didn't you change something at half time? Okay, he got it done by 60 minutes. Fair enough. But there should have been a sub or two made at half time, I think. I really do question some of the things he's doing at the moment or the way he's going about it. But then there's other times where I've seen him make a few good decisions. I'm just very 50-50 with a fella at the moment. I honestly don't know if he's got it. I don't know if he hasn't got it. I admit, I'm right on the fence with this one at the moment. I just don't know. At the moment, we look worse under Frank than we did under Ange.
Yeah. A large part, but be up to you, John. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Hi, Sean. Yeah, how you going? Hi, Dan.
You are, mate.
Pissed off, mate. I'm pissed off. I don't know what we're supposed to do. I don't know what I can't suffer that shit anymore. Like, but at the same time, like I don't think it's like it's madness to sack a guy, you know, before he gets to his next window. But I also just genuinely think that we're going to be ending up like spinning our wheels regardless. But it's like the notion is the players aren't good enough versus who. Who are the players not good enough? If you're not good enough to beat Arsenal, fair enough, 100%. Not good enough to compete with Chelsea, well, fair enough. But then Leeds can beat Chelsea because they wanted it more. Sunderland they got 3 points today, Sunderland. I looked at the table, but I'm guessing they're third or something at the moment. They want it more. They haven't got as good a team as Newcastle in the Northeast Derby, the Tyne and Wear Derby, and they've walked away 1-0 winners. Like, we are capable of X, but we're delivering X minus something, in my opinion, John. What's your take, mate?
As I was watching the game, I was thinking Tottenham Hotspur letting shit teams below them in the league beat them since 1982. I've not known it any different. It's always been this way. And at the end of the day, yeah, like you can speak about quality of players, but it's what you've got inside you as a man, as a player, to get on that pitch and say, I'm not coming off that pitch unless I've given everything. And they just don't look like they have. In how many games this season? How many games?
There's been a few, isn't there? There's been about 4.
Now. 16
There's been
games,
about 4 or 5.
About 5 or 6 where we've been fucking horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Where they look like their head ain't even with it, where they can't be bothered to get stuck in or whatever. There's been at least 5 games where we've done that. I agree.
It's like if you watch boxing, isn't it? And you watch one superior boxer and he's levels above the other guy, but the other guy is absolutely going out on his shield. He's determined, like, that he's got to be knocked out or he's not getting out of there, and he gives everything. But these players, they're just
like that, like the one Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn Jr. Conor Benn. Like you have 2 different caliber of fighters, 2 different size fighters, but the little fella, especially in the first fight, Conor Benn, he lost the fight, but he won the battle. If you know what I mean, like he went down swinging. We don't even do that. Like today, Nottingham Forest didn't even have to protect anything. They were still moving for a 4th. They'd won that battle from the 3rd minute forward, and it's Nottingham Forest, John. It's not like I understand a bit more if it was City or if it was Liverpool. I get it a little bit more. And go, okay, you know what, you're just beaten by a better team and whatever. But It's Forest, man. It's this unacceptably poor effort.
But it's the same. Any team that's got a physical midfield in the centre and quick wide players, you can literally write off the game. I mean, I was shocked that we didn't get battered against Newcastle away. I think it was just because they were really bad in that game. I think they had a absolutely off game. I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Howe's on his way out, but that's another thing. That's nothing to do with us, obviously. But it's just every time is the same. It looks like men against boys. Recruitment is a big thing, but I do have concerns about this manager. It just looks like there's no patterns of play, no signature. He subs when he brought on Davies, as you say. I don't think anyone in the stadium would have agreed with that one.
No.
You can fill the whole of the Tottenham Hotspur stadium and ask everyone if you want to bring on Ben Davies for Jed Spence right now, and they'd go, "Are you kidding me?" That was just bizarre. I'd rather have gone all out attack and just shoved on another winger and just gone, well, fuck it, let's have a go at it. Why are you bringing on a defender, a 33, what is he, 33, 34?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to
score
achieve.
goals.
I felt like we were trying, like, protecting a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah,
exactly. You want to score goals. Why bring on Paulinho, who I do think is better than the other two midfielders we got, but we know he's not exactly a progressive player. And why bring on Davies? You're going to get more out of Spence going forward than you are out of Davies all day long.
He should have started. For me, Richalison should have been stinker and hooked. He was absolutely atrocious. By the way, none of them are getting past. Like Pedro Porro today was absolutely fucking all over the place.
He can't defend.
But his passing as well, he gave the ball away like 6 or 7 times from my memory. Like I mean, we all did. Like every single player. Micky van der Ven, I've never seen him put in such a bad performance. I think he got 1 tackle in the entire game, which he only got because he fucked up in the first place by giving the ball away and then recovering to give away a corner kick, of which we nearly conceded from. Like it's poor. Let's start with Vicario, guys. Did you blame him for the first goal, or did you blame Archie Gray?
I blame Vicario. He can see the pitch. He can see who's being pressed, who's being closed down. There were 2 players out on the left in space. Just take the percentage, play out to them, or you play it long. Don't play to the boy in the middle who's being pressed. It's a big percentage of that going wrong, and it did, and it led to a goal. You know, that's the thing what annoys people is if you let a stupid, easy goal like that, you're massively on the back foot. Just bad decision making. I mean, how many times someone fucks up and he goes mental at them, like he goes crazy at Berghvall when Ange was around. But whenever he does anything, no one has a go at him and he's just blameless. He looks around at everyone else as if to say, like, you did that, not me. You don't take the chance there, in my opinion. Stupid decision making.
I think that one was down to Gray. At the end of the day, I think the thing you can say there with Gray is where he gets that little bit of defence of lack of experience. And I'm the first one to sit here and say, whether you're 18 or whether you're 38, I will judge you all the same. If you're going to get paid 80 grand a week and you are good enough for that first 11, so people say, then I will judge you exactly the same. A younger player, though, you can give them that little bit of leeway on experience. But Gray was the instigator of that problem. Yeah, Vicario should have dealt with it better, but Vicario would never have been in that situation if Gray wouldn't have screwed it up as bad as he did. And he also called for the ball after looking over his shoulder and seeing the situation, still called for the ball and totally screwed it up. But then we know what Vicario's like. Apart from shot stopping, he's not a good goalkeeper. And so that one, yeah, you can put it on both of them, but put that one more down to Gray. He instigated the problem. He put Vicario in that situation to screw it up as well. So he's got to take the blame for it in that aspect. And then, yeah, you can grill Vicario for his bit of screwing it up as well. We know what he's like, but he would have never been in that problem if Gray wouldn't have called for the ball after looking around him and screwed it up. But there, I suppose you can give him that bit of leeway of lack of experience.
It's not the first time it's happened to Archie Gray, is it? It happened last season under Ange as well. He got basically thrown under the bus by a hospital pass. And then as soon as the mistake happened, all the players go around Archie Gray to give him a cuddle because Vicario steps up and starts bellowing him as though, yeah, Vicario's first instinct is to, as soon as a goal is conceded, is to get up and start shouting at someone. But the geezer for me is like, I don't know, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but like his first instinct is to protect himself or to assume that it's someone else's fault. I don't know. It's like a gut instinct, and for me, like I respect the fact that the guy's always got the stones to come out and like own it in front of the camera or whatever, like to sort of take the mic and face the difficult questions. But I don't need you to be strong in front of the camera. I need you to be strong in front of the goal. And I don't think he is. I think he makes horrendous decisions. I think he is someone that panics. I think he's you can see it in his face as well. He's got that look of like a sort of deer in the headlights at times. And I think that he really, really struggles. And I think you need a goalkeeper. Like, you're never going to tell me that there's any team in the history of the game that's won anything with a shit goalkeeper, or like a goalkeeper that's unreliable, because he's good at the things that he doesn't think about. But as soon as his mind is activated and engaged, he shits himself. And I just think that it's too important a position. So these rumours of him going to Inter Milan, I've got no idea why they would want him. No idea what he's done to justify that sort of level of team. But if that's the case, you know, or go to AC Milan and we'll take Mike Manuel instead. That guy's calm as a, you know, he's calm under pressure.
He's not a good goalkeeper overall. But when we first got him, I'd seen him play a little bit in Italy and that, and thought, yeah, we got a good goalkeeper there. But then when you start seeing more and more of it, he was good basically until he got sussed out. And well, until Spurs got sussed out after about 12, 13, 14 games. When people started realising that he can't physically look after himself, that was when people started picking on him more. Yeah, I do find the team partly at fault for that, because if you know your goalkeeper can't stick up for himself, whatever, which goalkeeper should be able to, he's got more right to touch another player than anyone else on that pitch. I mean, Pickford wouldn't have took half the crap that Vicario used to take. He'd throw the other player across the bloody pitch. But the defenders never used to really stick up for him on the line either. And then when the other teams noticed that, they literally bullied him the whole season. As soon as he came to a corner, free kick or whatever, they'd be barging him all over the place. We even had, Ben White from Arsenal basically pinching his arse and everything, and that he wouldn't do nothing with it. And when it comes to shot stopping...
Be strong in those moments. Don't be strong in front of the fucking camera. Like, you know, anyone can do that. Sorry, Dan, to interrupt you.
Sorry. I think on reaction, he's a very good goalkeeper. I think he's one of the best shot stoppers out there, personally. I don't think there's many better that have got a reflex shot stop like he has. But his distribution, his thinking, his control, coming out and catching the ball, free kicks, just everything else, he just hasn't got it. And I know a lot of people don't like this these days, but when you're a goalkeeper, it's not about being a goalkeeper anymore, just a goalkeeper. You've also got to be able to be a defender. Same as a defender has to also be able to be a midfielder now. A midfielder always basically has to be a striker as well now. You can't just be a goalkeeper anymore. You have to have some sort of control on your feet, because it's just the way that football's gone. It's the way it's played, a sweeper keeper.
Spot on.
And he has not got it.
What happened with the second goal from Hudson-Odoi? Was that just a worldie of a cross come shot, or was it just ridiculously poor position? It didn't look like his positioning was horrendous, for what it's worth. It didn't look like it was horrendous, but the fact is you're getting beaten by a guy who's cut in on his right foot. Again, Pedro Porro, you know, I think Pedro Porro is just like struggling so much defensively. Every team goes after him. I think he's begging for help. But the problem is that when we give him help, then these players just do what they did for the third goal, which is just whip it back across the centre of the D, right? And then, like, we saw it against PSG. We've seen it in so many games when Tottenham offer him support and they presume that he's going to get beaten by the one-on-one. And then you get a DM or a centre-back or whoever going over to help him. Then they just whip it across and there's space on the edge of the D. So, like, on the second goal was him getting punished, or was us getting punished because we allowed him to be one-on-one versus Hudson-Odoi, who's just a quality player. And Pedro Porro can't get tight to him, and then he just whips it over the top. Again, I don't know whether that was on Vicario or otherwise. I think it probably was. Like, you shouldn't get beaten in that department regardless. It's ridiculous. But then the third goal, I mean, it's the same old thing. Just whip it to the back of the D, and obviously that was it was a classy finish from Sangare. I don't think the keeper can get close to that one, but it's just another one of these sort of situations where I'm sitting there going, I think that we've got to sell Pedro Porro. Well, he's one of my favourite players. Like, I love Pedro Porro. Right? I love it. I love his tenacity. I love his integrity. I love his fight, his desire. But he just isn't good enough. He isn't good enough. Speaking of someone who is good enough, though, we got another man joining the stream. Big up to you, Johnny. How are you, mate?
Cool. I'm steaming, mate. I'm steaming. I literally, I don't know how many steps I did running around from bar to bar to bar trying to find the stream for this pile of shit. But listen, from front to back, apart from, I would say, Moani, who basically, whenever he tried something, there was no one there to pick up the pieces anyway. There was no one there to follow up. But it was an abject performance, mate. And when you consider that they played on Thursday, we've had 2 days more rest than them. You know, I'm a big Thomas Frank fan, but I can't defend that performance. And when the second goal went in, it was like they'd gone 5-0 up. The body language was shocking. You know, Richalison should have come off way before. I would have pushed Moani into the middle and brought on Udogie or Tel or whatever to try and change it up. I didn't understand the subs, and I thought that they were too late. That's just part of it. But you know, we're just nowhere near good enough. We're nowhere near good enough. The squad, not all of the squad, is up to it. Pedro Porro. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I was shocked when Jed Spence came off instead of Pedro Porro. I didn't quite get what was going on. Didn't understand why Ben Davies came on. I could go on and on and on, but I won't because there's a whole load of other people here waiting to get on a chat. But you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back at the moment. There's a lot of work to be done with this squad.
Yeah, big up to you, Johnny. Big up to you, Sava. Thank you very much for the raid, my man. I hope you're okay. How you feeling after that?
No, I'm all right. I like it though. My whole chat seemed to blame me for every time Spurs play badly. It's fucking hilarious. I'm
getting the same.
Yeah, mate. Listen, I kind of echo much of what Johnny said there. Look, I think the clubs. I don't know where we go. I don't know where we go from here. I think the whole club is a mess. Frank's got to take blame. Players have got to take blame. Owners have got to take blame. I think we've bought absolutely horrendously. Maybe I need to take a little bit of accountability. And maybe I need to say that Ange, maybe I was too harsh on Ange. Not that I rated him, but I'm seeing nothing from the footballers at all. Like, I'm seeing nothing from them. He's getting it wrong. They're getting it wrong. No passion, no fight, no desire. Sean, I don't know where we go from here as a football club. And as I said on my channel, sorry, because I know Danny and Lubo were just on with me. They're going to have to hear me repeat this. As I said, Sean, so much of this fan base want him gone, right? If I wake up tomorrow and he's gone, Sean, he's gone. You know what? I'm telling you, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change because the new manager's going to come into these same players.
Absolutely
right?
nothing.
Right? He's going to come into these same players. He's going to come into no left winger. The crap midfield. I'll call it for what it is. This midfield is the worst midfield I've ever seen at Tottenham.
100%.
Ever. There you go. And I've seen a midfield that comprised of Sherwood and Freund and players like Bentaleb. And look, I just don't think anything's going to change. So fine, sack the manager, change the manager tomorrow. Fine. But what's the new manager going to get? How many windows? How many months? Are we going to buy properly? The culture, the ethos, and we're seeing it more and more now, Sean. We can blame Frank, and Frank's got to take a slice of this pie, right? But more and more I'm watching this culture, this ethos is broken from inside out. And as I said, if I was harsh on Ange, because I know people go, oh, Ange, you didn't want Ange. This culture is broken from inside out. We can go from putting in
did you not see just quickly? Did you not see the way I hear you? By the way, I hear you on everything you're saying. I don't disagree with you, but we played against Slavia Prague on Tuesday, and they did the man-to-man press, and we decided to do this like invert the fullbacks, go random, wild, dynamic, fluid system, and it worked against Slavia Prague because they're dog shit, and also we still conceded several chances, but they couldn't finish their dinner. we go and do it. I said it in the week. I said, if we do something similar against the next Premier League team that does a man-to-man press, we're going to get picked off because they've all got better players than Slavia Prague does. And to me, what I saw today in that first half was a team that has been told, similar to what Ange used to do, which is basically, this is the framework in which we're going to play football. How it looks during the game, I abdicate the accountability of that over to you guys to figure it out. And I always felt like today, whenever there was a man-to-man press going on, which was throughout the first half, someone like Xavi had an absolute fucking stinker today. Every time he got the ball, he would release it. And the guy he was releasing it to was going left as he thought he was going right. And it just rings so true to me that if you're going to do this fluid, like everyone go where you want to try to create space to draw the man-to-man press out, you have to at least have some sort of communication, some sort of preparation whereby you're going to know what each other are going to do. Otherwise, you're just guessing. It's like flip a coin. I'll hit you right, and you might go right, you might go left.
I think, yeah, you've gone looking at the game. I'm looking in general, right? I nothing about that game was good. It was an absolute shit show, right? By the way, I don't think there's a single footballer that played on that pitch today for Tottenham that I could say, fair play, you hold your head high. I thought from 1 to 15, however many of them played, 16 were absolutely fucking atrocious.
I thought Jed Spence was pretty good.
Oh my God, Jed Spence can't pass a football. I think he was atrocious. I get why he was taken off.
He was the best player on our pitch.
Yeah, but if you want to go and do something, Saba, and you want to press for it and that, you don't go on and bring Ben Davies for bloody Spence. That has got to be one of the thickest things a manager can do. He wants to go and score goals. Why take off?
Yeah, but hold on. But how many managers make mistakes in games? Every single manager makes mistakes in games.
How many managers would bring on Ben Davies to try and score a bloody goal over Spence? Even though Spence
but I think that's where fans got to say he didn't bring Ben Davies on to try and score a goal. He brought Ben Davies on because the back four was looking dreadful. I'm not defending it, but I think we're getting annoyed from.
Accept the 2-0. So he was accepting the 2-0 and not wanting to lose 3-0.
That's not what I said. Listen to what the words that are being said.
That's what I asked.
Not every single substitution is about scoring a goal, right? The other substitutions that he brought on, Berghvall, is to go forward more. When he brings on Tel, and that is to go forward more. I think Ben Davies was because the fullbacks, for me, were utterly dog shit today. Both of them. Look, again, I'll use Lubo's micro-macro thing. Yeah? There's no getting away from it. I don't think there's anything any of us can sit here and say to defend any of that shit we saw today. I don't think there is. I think if anyone tries to find the positive, then they're kidding themselves, right? The manager got it completely wrong. I thought the players were absolutely atrocious. Their body language, not just the tactic, like their body language, their defending, the passing. Micky van der Ven, I've never seen him give the ball away so much. Right?
He didn't do anything. But, he did not one tackle. He had one tackle in the 80th minute, and it was all because of his own mistake. No, but apart from that, no interceptions, no clearances, nothing.
They all were short, but this is the point. They all were. My worry is this, right? My worry is this. As I said, go and sack the manager. That's fine. We can sack the manager. If we truly believe this is purely the manager issue only, let's sack him. Let's bring in Xavi Hernandez, Iriola, Sean. Let's do it. Right? I guarantee you, we're back here in March, April. Same results, same sort of performances, same lack of ability to pass the football. You know why? Because the players can't pass the football. None of these players have ever passed the football in their career. It's not their jobs. We've bought poorly. We've got no mentality. If you've got the manager wrong, fine. You can say we got the manager wrong, but we've bought poorly. I didn't like the summer transfer window. I didn't think we addressed all of the glaring holes. And I'll say this. I'll end on this, Sean, so someone else can speak. Bring in whatever manager you want. Until we start signing proper footballers that aren't children, until we stop, and let me just finish this rant out, guys. Until we stop praising all of these kids who have done fuck all and fans overrate them because they make a 10-yard pass every now and then.
No,
until we stop pretending that Pedro Porro and Udogie and Spence are better than they are. Until we stop pretending that Bentancur is good and Berghvall and Gray are ready, and that Pape Matar Sarr's a brilliant midfielder because he scored against Arsenal. Till we stop pretending Mawani is a world-class top goal scorer and that Richie actually will come good. Until we stop pretending these things, we're always going to be disappointed. whoever the manager is, we need to go
It's
and
not
buy.
just that, Sava.
Hang on, Dan, just let me finish the sentence and I'll bring someone else in.
We need to go and buy whoever the manager is. I don't care. Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, give it to Sean, give it to Sean Butler. I don't care. Whoever is the manager, go and buy senior pros, proper footballers with winning mentality, with senior mentality, and stop expecting things from this squad that they are not capable of. Because the whole club right now, the whole club stinks. All of it. From board to the fucking cleaning men and ladies. The whole club stinks and we've got it wrong. Sorry.
One quick thing before I have to go, guys. One quick thing that Sava pointed out, which I thought was absolutely spot on. The second that second goal went in, the body language was a fucking disgrace. All of them. Not one, not two. I didn't see one captain or one player on that pitch going.
No leaders. None of them.
Come on, guys. Forget it. Let's get going. Let's fucking go for it. None of that. The show went down and they couldn't be asked. I turned around to my boys and said, waste of time from here on in. Telling you, waste of time. You're not going to see nothing. And that's what happened. Shocking.
And Johnny, do you know why that is? I'll tell you why that is. Because the problem is for the last since the Enoch came into this football club, right? The culture and mentality within is rotten to the absolute core, from like Sava said, top to bottom, right? The problem we have is that the players have got no accountability, right, for when we perform like shit, because they still get paid, they still go home to their mansions, they still go home and do whatever the fuck they want to do, and they can put in a performance like that and nothing changes, right?
Well, that's always going to be the case, though, Danny.
But Sean, the difference is when you go to a big club, an actual big club, the expectations are you need to win every game. What did Harry Kane say when he left Spurs and went to Bayern Munich? He said at Spurs, right, if you don't win a game, it doesn't matter because we're not expected to win. There's no motivation for the players to go and win every game.
That's fine. Explain to me why it is that Sunderland can turn up week in, week out.
Sean, because the players respect who they're playing for and they respect the fans, right? They respect the bands they're playing for, right?
Super quick to count, not to challenge you on it, because I'm so impressed with Sunderland, right? I think I haven't looked at the table yet. Well, I'm guessing they're third, are they right now? Something like that. But they, like, half of that team wasn't playing for. Sunderland are
seventh.
Sunderland is seventh, are they? Okay. But half of that team, yeah, surprising. Half of that team weren't playing for that club 4 or 5 months ago.
Right.
They did what Nottingham Forest did a couple of years ago, but they brought in players and they believe in something. They believe in whatever it is that the coach is telling them, and they're fighting for every ball, every second ball. No one can tell me that Sunderland's squad is,
right. But you just said it there, Sean. You just said it there yourself, right? The team are fighting for each other because they have just come up from a division below and they've got motivation and they want to believe that they can achieve something in this league.
Didn't come up.
It doesn't matter. They've got an ethos within their club that if they perform at the levels they can perform at, right, and give it all their all every game, they can compete. Compete. That's the word. Compete. Right? Doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's competing. Right? What the Tottenham players do is they don't give a fuck who they're playing, because what they do is they turn up when they want to. If for whatever reason they'll go and play one team like Newcastle away in the second half, and they'll fight and they'll give a dogged performance. They'll draw the game, but then they'll go to Nottingham Forest and they'll do fuck all. They'll walk around the pitch as if they don't even give a shit that they're on the pitch. Right? That's the difference. Right? And I don't care about Sunderland. Sunderland, right? They're playing one game a week as well.
Sunderland, mate.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's just Sunderland.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I know you're not. I know.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that, like, I agree with what Sava's saying. There's something fundamentally wrong with the football club, because other teams that don't have the, like, on paper, our players are, I think Sava and myself and Wolf, we did a combined 11, right? It could have gone either way, 7-5 or 6-5 or whatever, right? 7-4, 4-7, either way. It's like on the first 11, not that much difference. The problem for me is that Nottingham Forest are 17th in the league, and they have questionable. And by the way, Sean Dyche has only been there for a couple of months, yet he's made them today fight like he's been there for years and has got them
in one game.
His hymn sheet. Iriola, I know they've gone for a bit of a bad run in form during the tough period, but they play. But the sum is greater than the parts at more teams in the Premier League than not. And at Tottenham, the sum is far weaker than the parts, and that is something I don't know what the solution is.
Do you know?
It has to be
Sean.
manager. It has to be that they have to be able to get more.
You've got to remember, right? You've got to remember, even though we won the Europa League last season in a knockout tournament, right, which you can play for the one game with your bread and butter, this team, majority of this team was shit. They were all shit last season, right? Regardless of Ange being the manager or not, they were fucking useless. All of them.
So it wasn't
right?
Ange's fault then. So it wasn't Ange's fault.
Right. It's everyone's fault, Dan. It's always been the problem for the last 10, 15 years. It's been the fucking problem in the club.
The manager is employed. The manager is employed to get the sum greater than the parts. That's what the manager. The manager is there. The manager's main job, break it down to its most simplistic form. The manager is there to pick the right 11 and to motivate them and to coach them so that the team.
It's his job.
The sum is greater than the parts, and he hasn't done it.
But you've got to have the right mentality of players to do that, though. As well, you've got to have the players that have got that in them.
Isn't it that's the manager's job to cultivate that, though, right? Coaching is
but you've got to have that as a player. Like Sunderland, I keep seeing people talk about Sunderland. Sunderland have gone out, right, and in the main part, bought senior pros that have been there, seen it, and done it, right? They've gone out and bought what works for them. By the way, I don't like all this comparing to teams like Sunderland because a team comes up every year, has a good start, everyone loses their mind about how great they are, and then they fall off. But these teams play once a week, put the same 11 out every week, right? They just battle and battle and battle. If our team played the way their team played, we'd absolutely lose our mind and say it's boring football, yada, yada, yada. This is years and years of different players for different managers that don't fit. We haven't actually bought anybody to play in any set system. We don't even have any fullbacks at the club. The 3 fullbacks at Tottenham Hotspur are all wingbacks. We don't have any left wingers at the club. We don't have a single goal scorer at this football club, right? And we keep talking about this. And it doesn't matter whether I like Frank, I don't like Ange. I like Conte, I don't like Jose. Yet it doesn't matter. All of that stuff doesn't matter. The fact this is happening year in, year out tells you this squad is not good. We have not bought well. The ethos and culture at the club is not right. So as I've said, sack him, get him out of the club. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Are we going to be doing this again in 4 months?
Possibly, probably, 100% probably. Johnny, let me Johnny just quickly because Lubo's got to go in 5. So let me get Lubo's rant off, and then I'll bring you back in straight after that, Johnny. Sorry, Johnny, give me 2 seconds. Right. Lubo.
Well, I feel quite demoralised, to be honest, having seen that. I'm demoralised because of the lack of effort again. And I go back to, I got called a flip-flop the other week, didn't I, on the Spurs 5 when I actually said I've reassessed this squad and it's really not as good as I thought it was. And if today didn't prove me right, I don't know what will.
Are we still better than Fulham?
Lubo for the last few years.
Squad is shit. I've got to tell you something. I don't even know if we are better than Fulham with this squad. This is a pony squad.
What about Archie?
100%.
Sorry?
Pony.
Same as everyone else today, Johnny. No better than anyone else.
At least he picked himself up and tried, didn't he?
He did. He
was responsible for 3/4 of our XG.
Yeah,
he was.
I mean, I'm not being funny. We have become the Bonnie Blue of the Premier League. Honestly, we're just fucking full of. We're just one giant hole at the moment. Every time we play away from home.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm going to take you up on this. I'm going to take you on the textbook example of a gormless person. Really? You think this is good? You're an idiot. If you think this is acceptable for Tottenham Hotspur, then you're an idiot.
I love it.
Fucking idiot.
Chill, man.
Sorry.
Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth.
You tell him, Lubo.
Otherwise, you wind yourself up.
Don't worry about the chat. Just by the way, I'm not disregarding the chat, but I'm saying, Lubo, don't get affected by the chat.
No, I'm not. I just see stupid idiots like this come on and start idiots. He thinks this is okay. You think I'm gormless because I said this squad is poor? Yeah, it's a world-class squad. This is, we've now had Bournemouth, Wolves, Fulham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Bodo, Monaco, and Forest. That's 8 games that we've been discussing.
How much? So you're putting it all down to the players, are you?
I'm putting down to Sean. This is Levy's legacy. This is a lack of winning culture at the club that we've got.
Yeah.
So you're saying so Kudus isn't a good enough player to be at the Tottenham Hotspur?
I've got to tell you, Sean, I don't know how to explain when players like Kudus play like he did today. Maybe
he was as bad as Gray.
So he was poor.
There has to be some
worst two
accountability.
players.
The manager is either condoning and endorsing his selfishness, or he is not holding him accountable if the guy is being asked to release the ball in better times and isn't. Right? There has to be some level. What is the fucking point of a manager?
So
What is the point of a manager?
When Kudus has a bad
Tell me
game,
what the point of a manager is, please.
Sean,
I've got to shoot him a minute. Let me just say, Frank is not motivating them. It can't be.
Well,
No one
he's
can
not
motivate them,
motivating
Lubo.
them. He's a massive part of the problem. Then
No one can
if the
motivate
manager
them.
cannot motivate his team, he's a massive part of the problem.
No one
Who's
can
gonna
motivate them.
these
You know what
players?
the problem is?
No one can motivate them. They're shit. They're fucking shit players.
You know what the problem is? The problem is that when I say that this is a bang average squad, you get players that will turn up one week and not turn up the next week.
Exactly that.
Okay, and when you talk about different
Inconsistent squad,
levels,
then.
of
An
players,
inconsistent squad, right?
right?
It's an average squad. It's an average
It's an
squad.
average mid-table squad. We'll finish.
Called out for it. It's average.
Where are we going to finish this year? 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th,
I said
13th,
10th.
somewhere around there. We'll win a few, we'll lose a few. The players are not good enough. They do not perform week after week after week on a consistent level.
Because they don't care enough.
Technically, if we keep playing like this,
Danny, they're not good enough. It's not.
They're that as well, Lubo.
so if we keep playing like this, we're going to end up worse than we did under Ange, because technically we are looking worse and are worse than we was under Ange.
We finished 17th. We finished
Lubo, send him that blue file behind you, right? That contains all the data he needs, Frank, to turn this club around. Honestly, I'm raging today. I feel sorry for all the guys who went up there today. I was upset that I never managed to get to the game today, because Forest is always a good away game. But you know, while we're sitting here and bitching and moaning, all the fans that went up there today to take the time out, and that's what they got. That's what they got today, honestly. And you wonder why, when we go to the ground, there's this apathy towards supporting the team, when you never know. What's the thing? Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get. This is Johnny.
Johnny,
Yeah, but right now we're getting coffee nearly every time we pick a fucking a chocolate up, and it's horrible, right? Every single time.
Johnny, can I ask you a question?
It's horrible. It's either coffee or it's orange, and no one wants either of those two from the box, right?
I don't know. I like coffee, but there you go.
Johnny, don't you think the problem is, right? Don't you think the problem is? And listen, as I said, I think there's blame to go everywhere. For me, we do this after every game. We want to blame X, Y, Z player. For me, this isn't one player. This isn't the manager. This isn't the board. There is blame to go everywhere. My worry is with this, Johnny, is as a football fan, as a Spurs fan, if you dare say players aren't good enough or shouldn't be at Tottenham, look how you get lambasted by the fan base. Right?
I've got one here
Look,
now.
hang on, Johnny. Hang on. I'll get there with a question, right? This is the problem. For me, I said for you, I think there's only 4 or 5 of these players, if I woke up tomorrow and they weren't at this club, I actually care about, right? I can't remember the last time that I felt that way. Right now, I think we've got 3 or 4, maybe 5 who I think are really good. But the problem is, if the rest of the team aren't good, those guys aren't. Kudus isn't going to be consistently good every game, because I don't think the team around him is as good, right? Yep. This is, as I said, this is the weakest set of midfielders that I've seen at Tottenham, I can think, for 30 years.
Yeah, I agree.
think it's atrocious. But my point here is, Johnny, is whenever you suggest, if you suggest, like, right now, I think we need to go and get loads of technical footballers, right? But I also think, Johnny, we need to go and get leaders and men. I think when I suggest players like, I want a Conor Gallagher, right? He is a leader. He is a man. He has got an engine. He has captain teams, right? That's who I want to go and get to be part of my... Doesn't have to play every minute of the game. That is who our fans go, he's crap. He's not as good as Berghvall. He's not as good as Sarr. Our fans are half the problem, Johnny. We put these players there. We put these players there. Then when they're shit, we go, oh, but are we as good as Fulham? Well, what is it exactly we've got that's that much better than Fulham? Can anyone tell me? What is it we've got?
Sabat, look, just go
Why
back.
are we much better than Fulham? Why are we much better than Forest? What have we got that these teams haven't? We used to have, Johnny, last sentence, I promise. You know what we used to have that made us, gave us the X factor over these teams through all these years? Son and Kane. Son and Kane papered over every crack. We could have this crap squad with Son and Kane up front, and they go bang, 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 goal, goal, goal. And you go, yeah, we've battered Fulham 3-1. Now, I look at Spurs and Fulham on paper and I go, I'll take Sanderberg. I'll take Harry Wilson. I'll take Kenny Tetty. I'll take Anthony Robinson. I'll take the goalkeeper over Vicario.
Anderson, Sangare, Morgan Gibbs-White. All better than every single midfielder we've got.
Squad is better than these squads these days, but we keep going, he's class, he's brilliant. They're not, Johnny. They're not.
They're not. Because
Grays, Berghvall, Stars, Porros, Udogies, these are Vicario. One of the worst keepers I've seen in a Spurs shirt.
When we had Kane and Son, right? The rest of the squad was like an anchor round their neck, basically dragging them around the pitch, trying to single-handedly. How many times did we see Kane rescue a goal out of nothing, or Sonny score a goal out of nothing to cover up what was poor? Look, I just think that there's such a malaise. I was so angry, as I said, when we went 2-0 down, and the body language. And I'm here with Sava on this one. You need leaders. I didn't see leaders on that pitch today. I didn't see anyone who gave a shit. Right, guys, we've got to get back in this game. How many games have you watched this season when a side's gone 2-0 down and they fought back? They fought back to get a result.
Where's
all of them had their heads down. They were just walking around, sulking like little bitches. All of them.
Romero is all too focused on smashing a Brazilian player every time there's a Brazilian player on the pitch. That's all he seems to give a fuck about is hurting someone. Guys, I know there's a lot of people want to chat. There's about 15 super chats. Can I just quickly bang through this? And
sure, I'm going to shoot.
Appreciate you, Lubo. Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
What a difference. We were 2 down to Brighton, came back. 2 down to Bodo, came back. Never looked like it today. What a difference in body language, eh? Dreadful.
Lubo, just before you go, can I just say one thing before you go, Lubo, by the way? Ever since you started this campaign that Spurs have to change the midfield of Paulinho and Bentancur, have you noticed how we lose how we lose way more games than when those two actually played together, but the football wasn't as good? Someone put the stats out today. When Bentancur and Paulinho started the season playing in central midfield, we had less passes, less shots on goal, but we weren't getting opened up like a can of worms and weren't losing games.
Have a look at their record together at home. Doesn't make pretty reading.
Sure, but now it's transformed to, since those two have come out the middle together, we look wide open like a can of worms, whether it's Berghvall, Gray or Sarr.
There's no stability there. There's no strength.
He's got to go back to those two.
Because there's no one good enough to trust.
Got to.
Yeah.
Telling you.
They're the best two, really.
In midfield,
when you guys, just quickly, I've got to do the super chats. Lubo, you're staying in your drop. Thank you, Lubo. Appreciate you, mate.
I'll be back later.
Love you.
Tomorrow night, mate. Take care, buddy. Right, let me. I'm going to change the settings in a second. Let me just quickly do super chat. Big up to all of you guys. There's 1,700 people here. Unbelievable numbers. It's always the same though, Sava, isn't it, mate? When we lose, where were you when we won?
Madness, isn't it?
Appreciate you all. Thanks everyone for coming over from Sava's chat as well. Ryan Jarvis, he said, same old crap. Xavi was a scrub today. Yeah, he was, mate. I thought he was absolutely fucking atrocious today, in my opinion. He gave the ball away. He's supposed to be the person that can get on the ball and pass it. And every time he passed it, he gave it away. Absolutely awful. Thank you, Ryan. My K4 Spurs has just put in a non-chat super chat. Big up to you, mate. And love your dog. That dog looks cool and cute as hell. Big up to you and big up to your pooch. Bookie TV has said, if we struggle to play at walking pace and no one has improved, at what point is that coaching failure, regardless of who replaces Frank?
Yeah.
I think we're discussing this, right? Like I personally think that I've got massive question marks around what it is that Cochrane's doing and the other boys, and also Thomas Frank. However, I'm also with Saba in as much as does anything really change? And like I said before, I think if Thomas Frank said that if he doesn't get his first choice guy, he'd rather wait, and then didn't take a stand in as a left winger, and then he gets sacked before he gets the chance to bring someone in, what sort of precedent does that set for the next manager? They will say, if you can't get me what I want, get me something, because there's no guarantee I'll be here for the next window. So big up to you, Bookie. Thank you very much. Ian Anderson has said, boring. I hope that's not about the chat. I hope that's just about the game, but it might be about me. I don't know. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate you, Ian. Dan Gleebles has said 100% the players ain't into this manager. I'm going to come back to that one, mate. Is there any chance at all that these players are just like, not
fuck
that
these
they
players
don't
anyway.
like it, they don't fancy
They don't like
it?
anything.
Any chance at all, Danny?
Yeah, these players don't like anything. They're little babies. They're all of them. A bunch of prima donnas. Every single one of them. I'm sorry. I'm fed up with these fucking footballers, right? Who cry and whinge at every little thing that they don't like. Oh, my leg hurts. Oh, no, this hurts. Oh, this hurts. Oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, I don't like this. I can't run 2 meters here. My leg's hurting. Look at Richalison diving around the pitch all the time. We've got a fucking bunch of waste of space
He
players.
pissed me off today. He pissed me off with his
We've
rolling
got
around,
waste
mate.
of space players, Sean. I'm sick of these fucking players. Honestly, I'm sick of them.
But we've signed a hell of a lot of players, and as soon as they come to Tottenham, they seem to become that way. So I don't like, they weren't necessarily that way before they got to Tottenham. Anyway, definitely Main, big up to you. He says, one chance created in 95 minutes. It's a disgraceful setup. Listen, I tend to lean into that as well. I'm not disregarding the argument about the players, but I thought the setup today was stupid. I thought we were setting up to our quote unquote strengths, and in so doing, playing to Nottingham Forest strengths as well. I said this before the game. I said it when I was on the fight stream with you and with Wolfie and Saba, that I thought that we were going to play to their strengths by trying to play to our own, and it was stupid. Thank you very much. Bookie TV has become a new member of the show. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Appreciate you. Kulu's elusive right foot. We need a big clear out. Goalkeeper, right back, Sarr, Berghvall, and Gray. He wants rid of them all.
20 players.
There's more players allowed to that list. To be honest, I don't think we should have given Bentancur a new contract personally. No, but we've done that now.
That's
so
money, Sean. That's money. Fans have got to forget that's.
I know.
That's
protecting the contract. Yeah, I get it.
We're protecting value.
I hear you on that one. Well, as long as he doesn't mean that he's going to be here for the next 3 years. Big up to Nigel.
On Eva, I'll take you up on that.
Fair enough. Lads, I have a positive. The ref blowing. Lads, I have a positive. The ref blowing the final. Oh, sorry. I've got a positive. The ref blowing. Mate, it was torture, wasn't it? Absolute torture. Thank you very much, Nigel. I really appreciate you, mate. Very generous super chat as well. By the way, if you're going to put a €10 super chat in, you've got a lot more space. You can usually go at it, but it was what you said was absolutely spot on. Big up to you. Rain, member for 5 months, has said, I want a new fairy god manager. Now, sarcasm, by the way. Yeah, look, we need something different, mate. We need something. It's going to be interesting to see if people go towards Frank out. In fact, I'm going to do a poll in a second to find that out. Big up to you, Rain. Thank you for the loyalty. Todd Mills says, 4th ever super chat. Appreciate you very much, mate. He says the first 3 were Frank is wank. Guess what number 4 is? we are set up cluelessly. Can anyone see a style of play or pattern of play? I'm gonna come back to that because I want to lead with that in the next bit. Thank you very much, Todd. I appreciate the 3 before it as well as that one there. Sava says Sean Butler for manager. Get it trending. Sava, what are you doing, mate? I don't want that shit. People are going to interpret that and go, Butler's saying something. I didn't see the video, but I'm sure Butler's therefore saying he could manage this team.
Sorry, Sean, I'm at the stage where it's very easy for everyone to just shout and scream to want the manager out. But I guarantee, in a minute, can you please have the conversation about who everyone wants? I bet you everyone wants a different manager with a different style, which means that the new manager coming in is on a hiding to nothing before he's even started.
I know Sean's secret halftime team talk is a shot of absinthe. That'll wake him up a bit.
I've got to say, Abby Summers doing her usual on Talk Sport, like Frank out. That's all she says every week. Frank out, Frank out. I wish someone would shut her up and put some duct tape in her mouth because she's really doing my head in. Because there's no balance. Dude,
that's cancer material. We don't condone any of that sort of behaviour.
Creators like that.
I just like her to shut up. That's basically it.
Okay, but no duct tape. No duct tape involved. That sounds weird.
That's for the other channel, Johnny.
Big up to Spurs OC. He says, "What's wrong with sticking your foot through it?" Yeah, that should have been maybe the case with Vicario. I mean, I don't know whose fault that was. It was just a shit show, wasn't it? Thank you, Spurs OC. Hope you're okay, mate, over in California. He's also come back and said we need a new keeper. I think a lot of people want a new keeper. I do as well, mate. I think he's like I said before. I think if you've got a goalkeeper that you can't rely on, then
some looking for a new club.
I think there's one we should go for, and I think he's a good keeper. He's going to cost a bit of money, but I think we could more than respectably get him. Costa, Porto. I reckon 40, 50 million, you'll get a shout on that. And he's a lot better than what we've got.
You want to come here?
I don't see why not.
You paid him enough money. Hey, the way that people get paid in Portugal is different to how they get paid in the Premier League. Even in sporting, you don't get paid by your quality; you get paid by your tenure. It's a really weird system. I got a taxi somewhere, and the guy who was an Uber driver for me, I was in a different country, and he was like, "Oh, I used to be a sporting coach." I was like, "Oh, really?" Funnily enough, talked to me, and I asked him about the sporting because it was Verandas, all that stuff. It was the Porro deal at the time. I said, "Do you think we'll get Porro?" He said, "Yeah, 100%." I said, "Why?" He said, "Salary and salary alone, for no other reason." I said, "Well, explain that." He said, "This is how it works. Like you have players at Sporting that are shit, but they've been there for 8-10 years, and they get paid a lot more than players that are brilliant that have been there too." Big up to you though. Let me just run these through real quick. I appreciate everyone. It's very generous today. Blaine's come back and says, "I want to see a midfield of Lubo, Danny, and Sava versus Liverpool. We might get 3 red cards, but at least there's fucking passion. There's a lot of passion in those 3 for sure."
I was a mean midfielder when I used to play midfield. People didn't like playing against me. Yeah, I was very, very aggressive. Very aggressive. Like I am on the stream, I am on the pitch.
Yeah, and then one little tackle, I bet you go down like a bitch as well.
No, mate, no one put me on the ball. Literally, it was me putting other people on the ball.
I think this is the first super sticker of the chat. You get the choo to you, Dino. Dini, thank you very much indeed. Absolute legend, my man. Justin Lily White has said another Sunday destroyed. 100%, man. I'm pissed. I'm fuming about that. And also, a user has said we lost to Nottingham Forest. How far we have fallen, lumbercracks.
Didn't we lose to them twice last year?
Yeah, but this is they're 7th. I don't know.
Yeah, but how far we fallen? The same. Right.
I hear you. Boys, let me. I think there's someone in the background who wants to come in. Sorry, Brian. Let me bring you in as well. And go back to the 7-man pivot. Where was the 7-man pivot? Here it is. Who wants to go? Saba, you wanted to ask about the manager, right? Like if the manager goes,
look, just purely because, as I said, I know a lot of people don't want to listen, but I'm cool. I'm cool if anyone wants to sack the manager and the Spurs do, fine. I'll just ask the question: what is it that everyone wants? Because what will happen, Sean, is half the fan base want an Iriola or a Xavi. If Iriola comes in, we're going to have the whole thing that, oh, Iriola's only done at Bournemouth, can't cope twice a week. Look how many games he's lost. If Xavi Hernandez comes in, he's going to have the shock of his life training with these players that can't pass a football to save their life. And he will be like, what are we doing? He'll try and implement the passing play. And our fans will go, this football shit. Our players can't play it. The manager's lost them. Glasner, fine, get him in. He plays pragmatic football. Half the fan base will cry that it's pragmatic and not attacking.
True.
So I'm asking the question, Sean, who is that one manager that comes in that we all want to now finally let build and grow this football club that we all give time to? So I don't care who the manager is, but a manager at some point is going to need more than 4 months. Yeah. A manager at some point is going to need 400, 500, 600 million and 2, 3, 4 years. If it's not Frank, who is that one guy?
There's only one manager, realistically, that we could get. Forget Pep, Klopp and all that, yeah? If we're going to be realistic, I'd say about 75% of this fan base. There's only one manager that comes in and he gets that leeway, and that is Poch. And that is going to be purely down to hit and hope. There's always a lot of love for him for what he done for us and everything, even though he didn't win anything. People want it to go right and everything. If you look at the review he done recently, he couldn't have made it any clearer that he wants to come back to the Premier League.
Poch will fail. Exactly. He will fail miserably.
I'm not saying whether he will or won't. I am saying he's probably the only manager out there realistically that we could get at the club that a majority of the fan base will sit back and wait for about 8 months.
That's the problem, Dan. The problem are the fans. The problem are the fans. They've always been the problem.
How are the fans the problem, Danny?
Yeah,
Always
I don't kick the bloody
because-
football. I don't pick
Oh
the
my
team.
God.
So how am I the
Every
problem,
fan,
Dan?
every
think
fan
Danny-
wants to chop and change managers all the fucking time, and they don't want to actually look at the proper problems at this football club. It's everything. It's the whole culture of this disgusting ethos has been built by leaving Enoch at this football club. That's the fucking problem. It's a
I'll bring
fundamental
Daniel Levy
problem.
into this. I'll bring Daniel Levy into
Until that mentality changes, it doesn't matter who the manager is, and because whenever and this ownership now, whoever's controlling the football club, if they don't buy top players, right, then it's just going to be the same shit we're going to see for the next 5-10 years. Until that changes, like Sava said, with Aston Villa, they go and buy they play seasoned professionals. I don't want to see no more 19-year-olds, no more 18-year-olds. I want to see proven players.
Danny, simple question for you though. If you could wake up tomorrow morning, click your fingers, and on Christmas Day, your manager of your football club, Tottenham Hotspur, is Unai Emery, do you take it right now?
Probably.
So do you
Unai
just
Emery's a
think
good
about that?
manager. Yeah, he's a good manager.
Yeah,
But
so
my
you're
dream,
as you
my
give Unai Emery, right?
yeah, my dream manager. It doesn't
What
matter.
do you
Spoon.
give
Look,
Villa?
I've said this for a long time. I don't care who the manager is in this football club. I really don't. Until I see the club go and buy top players, whoever the fucking manager is, it doesn't matter who the manager is. I really couldn't care less. It doesn't matter because any manager who comes into this football club, if they're working with shit, they are going to perform like shit. It's as simple as that. It's not fucking easy. It's so fucking easy. Like, it's like, how? Come on. You can't polish turds, right? We've got so many fucking turds in this football club. It's a fucking joke. Like, honestly, like, how do you expect to perform well when we've got crap?
Danny,
Like, we've
my
got crap.
worry is, Danny, my worry where I do
Look at
agree with
Villa's
you with the
midfield.
fans- Hang on, Danny, my worry where I do agree with you with the fans, right? I obviously we don't pick the manager, whatever, but my worry is the number of our fans who rate so many of these crap to average.
That's why the fans are the problem.
Scares me. How many people rate Richarlison, Johnson?
That's why the fans are the
How many
problem.
people
No, hold up.
we rate so many.
Most of the fans in my fan base were crying out for Richarlison to be stinker and hooked at 45, 50, 55
Richarlison
minutes.
should never have been signed for this football club.
Hang on,
Sean.
hang on.
That's the fundamental issue.
I
That's
agree
not
with
the
that, by
fans'
way.
fault.
But I agree with that. But the
It's not
fans
the
don't
fans'
pick those, and the fans
That's not
didn't
the fans'
decide that
fault, but the
Richarlison
fans
stayed on the pitch
accept
until
it.
90 minutes, right? The fans will eventually have their way. Like if the fans riot and revolt and all that stuff, then the owners will always shield their own protection from the reaction from the fans. But in the meantime, the fans aren't responsible for the team that's picked, and the fans aren't responsible for the
The
effort.
fans, Sean.
Hang on,
dictate
Danny. Hang on,
who
Sean,
a
you're missing my
manager
point.
gets
Hang on,
sacked or
Danny.
not.
Hang on, you're missing my point, Sean. But the point is, when I look at this squad, I don't expect a lot from it, right? Because I don't
Neither do
rate
I.
the players. The problem you've got is you've got a lot of fans that rate these players, Sean. I'm not blaming them for the players being here, but we've got fans in our fan base that go, we should easily be top four. We should easily be battering Fulham.
Well, that's
we should easily be-"
delusional. That's delusional. But the idea that you can't put up a fight against Nottingham Forest is also delusional.
No, but that's not what. Yeah, but Sean, that's not. But again, that's micro v macro, isn't it? As Lubo, that's micro v macro. The bigger picture for me isn't that they don't put up a fight every now and then, right? The bigger picture for me is the quality, right? Because if you bring in the right players with the right quality, with the right mentality, the issue you just said sorts itself out. And this is why when you watch, I always use Villa. Villa fight in every game because they've gone and bought players of that nature. Villa have bought in their four midfielders are natural. They are workers, grafters, grit, fight,
Technically
leaders.
gifted.
The players
We-
always look shit when things are going badly as well. Like you have to consider that sometimes when things are going so badly, and it's like say you've had the wrong manager for 4 times in a row, which I think we've had, by the way. It looks like all the players are shit, whereas they even going back to say Conte, which is the last good manager we had in my view, but he was the wrong fit for the club. He was 4th when he was sacked, by the way.
Yep.
With a worse team, right?
But
So-
he had Harry Kane and Son. But
He
he had
wasn't
Harry
sacked.
Kane and Son. He had Harry
Yeah,
Kane
he did.
and Son.
He did. No, yeah, but like overall, he had a shit defense. He had a fucking terrible defense.
Yeah.
Kane and Son.
Listen,
And
can I
he had
just
bad
say,
Yeah,
midfield.
but we weren't playing you score 3, we score 4. And he had an absolute diabolical defence.
No, like even
he had Harry Kane and Heung Min Son.
But we still weren't playing you score 3, we score.
If
you're missing.
If we had Kane and Son now, you think we'd
be way higher up the table.
But we had an absolute.
So if we signed 2 world-class players or 2 £80 million players, sorry, Bissouma's joined the chat. If we signed 2 £80 million players in January, then that levels out what you're talking about, right?
No, because Kane and Son were built into being those top world-class players that score goals for fun. There aren't players out there like that right now, right? So
but we're still conceding more goals under Frank when he's had a better team than possibly Ange. He's had the most stable defence, you could say, because he's had the choice. He's had the whole defence sitting there nearly all season. He's had his whole defence there. Conte had a terrible defence.
Those defenders are really good.
Conte had a terrible defence.
I don't either.
Guys, one second. I know Johnny's got to go in a second, so just final word, Johnny.
Quickly, guys, right? I mean, listen, I've always been a big Unai Emery fan, and I was really upset when he became Arsenal's manager, and I was absolutely staggered that they sacked him. They didn't give him any time. They never backed him with some of the shit that was there, because they never got rid of him. The Aubameyangs, the Ozils. He was having to fight all of that shit, and they never, ever backed him. When Arteta came in, for some no reason, they listened to him, they sacked all that shit, but he was never given time. He's gone to Villa, and he's been given time. This, Villa didn't happen overnight. They've had their problems. They've had their chance to evolve.
Look at last season.
They kind of did, though. They kind of did. As soon as Unai Emery came in, they
kind of went like that. They did, and then they
slowed down.
I thought had a good squad to come into. They also had a good squad to come into. Just Gerrard was terrible with it.
Yeah, he was terrible. But what I was saying is that I do believe this just get rid of the manager scenario that so many fans have. I get it. It's the passion. It's the it's the upset of watching that game, right? It's the upset of that game. But I just don't feel right now that getting rid of Frank, as much as I'm pissed off today. I'm not.
Are you seeing any? Are you seeing patterns of play though, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm not condoning anything about today, right? Manager, everyone takes the slice of the blame pie, all of them, right? Hierarchy down to the bottom, the coaches. Cochrane, Frank, all of the players, everyone, right? But my point here is that I just don't think that. I think it's too easy street. The training ground is like a 6-star hotel. It's easy street. There's no penalty for failure. It's like
exactly what I was saying, Johnny.
Next week. It's always next week. There's a malaise, and I don't know how we get rid of it. Conte spoke about it. It was shit last season. Anyone who thought it was great last season, take out the Europa League win.
It was
right.
Yeah, exactly. It's the worst we've had in the league. Worst we've ever had in the Premier League.
The worst 22 league games I attended where we lost, right? And I can tell you, I don't ever want to go through that again. It ain't a lot better this season, right? It isn't. But getting rid of the manager right now, guys, ain't curing anything. It really isn't.
Johnny.
Really isn't.
Just one thing to add, right? If I always want my dream manager for Spurs right now, if I had a choice, would be Xavi Hernandez, right? Yeah. But again, Xavi Hernandez will need to get rid of Xavi.
On his name.
Oh, on his name. No, I. What do you mean?
Well, his name.
Oh,
Xavi
his name.
Right,
yeah, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Based on his name, not on the success he's had in the Premier League or what.
No, based on the style of football he likes to play, right? That's what I would like to see. But again,
he could be another
Frank. Again, that's what I'm saying, Johnny. That's why I said it doesn't really matter who the manager is. Until we get better players, we will never know how good a manager could be at this football club because we've got Dross. We've got to get a good player. I think 20 players in this squad need to be sold. 20 of them. Honestly, 20.
Right.
just think
The
of it.
manager's job, Dan, is to get the best out of the players, to pick the right formation, and to try and get them working. That is his job.
Best
period,
out of the
yeah?
what players, Dan, man? These players are
It doesn't.
crap.
No, Dan. But if they are crap, you still got to get the best out of them. That's your bloody job. That is your job.
Maybe
But I
this
think
is
When
you
the
you're
can-
best
going
out
and
of
doing
them.
things like
This is the best
starting
you can get out of them.
when you're doing a
We win some games, we lose some games, we draw some games, Dan. That's the season.
Surely he shouldn't be starting Gray then when he knows he just is not ready.
Yeah, but he started
Don't-
great in the last few games. We won them, Dan.
And Gray hasn't looked good in any of them.
But I think you can look at a team.
That's not true.
I think
That's
you can
not
look
true.
at a
Tell
team.
me a
That's
game
not
he's been
true.
solid for 90
That's not
minutes. Tell
true.
me one.
That's not true.
Give me a
He
game.
was good. He had good performances in those games. The last few games he won.
No,
Guys.
I said give me a 90
See you later,
minutes.
Johnny.
Cheers, Johnny. Appreciate you, mate.
Good luck, Dan, everybody.
See you later, Johnny. You're
Give
going
me
to say
90
to me,
minutes where he's
all right,
delivered.
I'll tell you something, Dan,
Don't
right?
give up the ghost, mate. There's always
Give
Liverpool.
me a player who's played. Give me a player who's played 90 minutes this season and playing good for 90 minutes.
Okay,
Not one
I'll do it.
fucking
Okay,
Tottenham player.
I'll do it. No,
The ground.
Van der Ven's done it several times.
Seven-
Kudus,
for 90 minutes? Yeah?
Bentancur's done
What
it.
games?
Paulinia's done it. Even Moane's pulled it off once. Archie
What
Gray
one
has had a
game?
good
What
90
one game?
minutes.
Right, one game.
You said tell me games where they've done 90
Okay,
minutes. I just
but
gave
how
you
many
5
games
players.
has Archie Gray started, Dan?
I'm saying how many games has he played for 90 minutes and looked bloody solid? Not one.
This isn't
Look,
about Gray, is it?
what?
Hang on,
Oh.
before you two keep shouting at
keep
each other,
getting
can we
picked.
just
Go-
agree
go.
this isn't about the problem is it's a very simplistic notion when people say you've got to get the best out of everyone. Of course. But if it was that simplistic, no team would ever get relegated because you'd say it's the manager's job to get the best out of everyone. The problem is we've seen for years now such up and down performances. What does that tell you? When it's happening for years and years and years and years, when are we going to get to the stage where we realize, as I said, if I have to take a little bit of a back step and say, maybe I went in a bit too hard on Frank. By the way, I don't rate him as a manager. I hated the wide open stuff. But if I have to take a little bit of a step back and say, okay, maybe I went in a bit too much.
And you mean Ange?
Ange. Yes, sorry, Ange. At what
Yeah.
stage do we turn around and say, these players might not be the one? As I said, sack Frank, Brian. I'm saying we can sack Frank. That's fine. But what happens when the new manager comes in, like Xavi Hernandez comes in, wants to play this nice free-flowing football, and he's going, oh my God, look at the midfield I've got to do this with. You know the only way you solve it? You go into the transfer market, you buy better players. Because this notion that fans have, and this is where I always disagree with Danny, yeah, we want to see the players giving everything every game. But unfortunately, when you haven't got the players that have got that mentality or that ability, you are going to see highs and you're going to see lows. Average players will average out.
What I think we need at this club is we need a manager that we can see a future. Like when you're watching a performance like today, you don't even see where we can build on it. Like if you say you had a De Zerbi or somebody, right? I'm not saying he's the long-term answer, but at least he's an
Zerbi
attacking.
would lose every week.
Well, I don't know. Like he's an attacking manager.
Yeah, but these players can't play as football, Brian. That's the point. These players would not be able
Romero
to play
Van der Ven can't play out the back.
Huh?
Romero Van der Ven can't play out from the back.
Yeah, but Brian, this is where I've had this debate with everybody so much. Until the midfield changes at Tottenham Hotspur, you are not. So I went all South London then. I said you ain't.
You ain't never gonna not
you
know
ain't
nothing
never
different.
You will not be able to implement a style properly until you get the midfield to play the style you want to play. Romero and Van der Ven can bring the ball out, but the style De Zerbi plays, the style Herzler plays at Brighton, the style Xavi Hernandez plays is very much all built around the midfield dominating the football.
Are we saying Baliba is an unbelievable player? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not saying Baliba's an unbelievable player, but he's been bought for that squad to do a job because they scout succession-wise. So when they bought Baliba in, they knew what they had for him in mind. We've had loads of midfielders bought with nothing in mind. What midfielder at our club has a set role?
We look for talent rather than specificity. I agree with that. Yeah.
Sean, thank you. So you said it more elegantly than me.
The issue I got with this is I was one look. I wanted Ange out through and through, and people are going to say, "Why do you keep bringing him up?" Like, well, because that's what you got to compare to. Of course, do. You got to compare it to the previous season. We can't compare Frank to Frank
Or
until he's
compare
had
it
the
to his 2
season.
years.
Yeah, you
So
can
what was
compare
Frank?
it
What was Frank?
whatever.
He is the
We can only
right?
compare. We can only compare to what happened last season.
That's not
At
true.
the moment. Well,
That's
what do you
not
want to
true.
compare to then? Well, what do you compare to then?
If I'm going to compare to Ange's last season where he'd had 4 windows and 400 million pounds, then I want to compare Thomas Frank to that when he's had
Right.
4 windows.
But
and
I can
400
only
million
compare
pounds.
of what I'm seeing at the moment to what I saw last season. And at the moment, we are worse under Frank than we were under Ange.
What's Frank
last
asking for?
season?
What's Frank
How
asking
worse?
for? in
Going
the
to have
transfer
to
market?
change on it. How are we
How
worse?
worse?
We've conceded more. We've conceded more and scored less, haven't we?
Okay, but where are we in the league? Like we are.
Yeah, we're going to
Lower
finish.
than we were this.
Lower
Lower than we were this time last season.
We're going to finish higher than Ange though in the end. Like
Sure, but this time
You
last
bloody
season,
hope
Ange,
so.
Ange had a fully fit squad for the first 13, 14 games of the season, right? So if you're going to
And
judge that,
Frank
this
has
is
had a
why-
solid defence the whole time and conceded
Oh,
more
wow.
goals.
Yeah,
but this isn't the solid defence. This
What
is
about
the
the
thing,
attack?
Dan. Again,
He's had the
you're on-
whole defence, and
Yes,
didn't have the whole defence,
Dan,
did
listen
he?
to the words I'm saying, not what you think I'm
I
saying.
did
Listen
listen
to
to
the
the
actual
words.
words
No,
I'm
I
saying.
listened to the words you're
He
saying.
can have no, but this is the thing. He can have the whole
What thing?
defence, right? He can have the whole defence. But if the fullbacks aren't good, it don't matter what whole defence he's got. This
And
is
play
not a good
pragmatic
defence.
and play pragmatic and concede more.
But he's
To a man who used to charge everyone up to the halfway line.
okay. So Dan,
Something's
so
not
let
right
me
here.
use it against you then. So this is
Go
the
on.
thing. When you say this, right? When he was playing, right? If you remember up to a month ago, right, when we weren't actually losing every week, we played Paulinho and Bentancur. We were more pragmatic and we were hardly conceding any goals.
yeah, but we didn't
Right.
have any. We didn't create anything. Like
Hang on. Let me
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, but this is my point, right? So by doing what he did, he realised we can't do both. We don't have the players to do both, right? So he went pragmatic. We hardly conceded goals. Everyone's shit the bed. This is shit. We need to attack. He takes out the 2 midfielders that were working to put in Gray or Berghvall, what everyone was crying for. The team has completely opened up and has no stability anymore. And we concede loads of goals. That's not a have a look at the exact time
Yeah.
these
I
two events happen.
I think for
Right.
about our 3 first games, we looked more stable in defence. Yeah. What I'm saying is with Frank, he's
Our
a more
3 first
pragmatic
games?
manager. I'd say 3 of our first games, or maybe even 4, we actually looked like the defence was better, more stable.
First 10
Now,
games, we had the third
It
best
looks
defence
more
in the league.
unstable. I think we look more unstable in defence now overall, and we have
Yes.
conceded more goals than this time last season. And
Yes,
he's had
Dan,
his whole
because he
defence there
did
the whole
what,
time.
did what you all wanted. He did, Dan. This is what
Why
after
didn't
10
Frank-
games. After 10 games, we had the third best defence in the league, right? He then, 5 games ago in this league, changed away from what everyone hated, which was Bentancur and Paulinho protecting that back 4. He changed away from it. We went forward more. And funnily enough, we're getting ripped open more at the back. And that is the trade-off. If you don't have good enough
Yeah.
players up front and in
is
midfield
what
to
I
hold
said
on to the ball,
ages ago,
you've
Sava.
got to protect the back 4. Now we play Gray, doesn't protect the back 4. Berghvall, Sarr, they don't protect the back 4. So whilst I agree that it's unglamorous, Bentancur and Paulinho, it's unglamorous. I get it, right? Those two protected the back 4 and we weren't conceding goals.
But why didn't
And
Frank
everyone
get the players?
hated it.
Sava, why
But
didn't
Everyone
even-
hated it.
why didn't Frank get the players that he needs for his system in the summer? Why didn't he make a song and dance? I need this player, I need that player. Like you're
Because
saying,
it's
Hang on, didn't
You're
he
saying-
try? Hang on, Gibbs White, Morgan Rogers, Eze, Savio, didn't he try?
yeah, but even if you put these players in, I'm not seeing the patterns of play to get the best out of any of these players.
How do you
Because
know?
none
Because
of
he
these
didn't
players-
get them.
I don't think it's there. I don't think he's even creating the patterns from
Because they're not good enough.
phase
How can
one
you
of
create
staying
the
out.
patterns when you've got such poor midfielders? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
But
get
they're
what
not.
you want.
They're not as bad as you're making out. Like
Oh,
Yes,
they are. They are
fucking
as bad
awful.
as I'm making out.
they're not.
No
They're
other
international
club would
players,
want them
like.
in, Brian.
Look,
You've
This
got
is-
I
Javi
get this,
Simmons,
yeah.
you've got Mwani, you've got Javi Simmons, you've got
Midfielders.
Kudos.
None of them are midfielders. You're not talking. I'm talking about central
but-
midfielders where
okay,
the
but
engine room is. Name me a good one.
Well, everyone wanted Paulinho.
Everybody wants
Mhm.
to
DM. He's a DM. We have not got
Yeah.
the midfield.
Hang on a second. So you've ruled out Xavi and you've ruled out a DM. Like we're playing with 2 players in a double pivot and Xavi. So if we're okay with Xavi and we're okay with Paulinho, and we all were okay with both of those, all of us,
Mhm.
let's not rewrite history. then there's one position. There's one position in a double pivot model that we're arguing about.
The main position in a double. This is the problem, Sean. It's the main man in any football team. Is the
Who we
number
tried
8.
to go for?
Every manager builds around. Look, when Pep goes anywhere, I want to.
No, but you're saying we haven't got any midfielders, and yet 2 of the 3 midfielders in our midfield we were all okay with. We're revising history a little bit here. Everyone was okay with Paulinho.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making, Sean.
But Xavi Simons is a playmaker. He needs the dots connected. You look today, right? Bentancur was in midfield on his own. When we didn't have the ball, I'm looking around going, where on earth is Gray? Like, where is Gray? Where on earth is Gray? The same when Berghvall plays. If you do not get a Wharton, an Elliot Anderson, a Gomez from all,
Elliot Anderson's a 6. He's a DM. He's a DM as well, right? If we're making the argument that a double pivot doesn't have a 6, it has sort of 2. Then Paulinho is one of them. Like we have to be reasonable here. 2 of the 3 midfielders that we have in the 11, everybody was happy with. We can't put the entire absence of any.
Even if you've Wharton,
we cannot put the entire sort of consequence of our inability to do anything with the football on the inability to have a solid in one position.
But not Sean, I can, because not one of them can control a game. Every big football club you can think of has a guy that controls the game. That is the one position we are missing.
Right.
So you can
if
have
you had Wharton, right? Frank would still be bypassing him.
No,
That's Frank bypasses the midfield. That's what he does. Like.
Right, so if you put Adam Wharton into our team right now, and suddenly we're what? Suddenly we're brilliant.
But see, but guys, this is where we just get
so dramatic. I'm trying to understand your take because you're basically dismissing the. Yeah, go on. I'm not extrapolating
because you've got to put the jigsaw pieces together, right? If I'm a manager, right, the most important part of my team is the midfield engine, right? Paulinho can win it and give it. Who's he giving it to? Right? He's not giving it to anyone that can. We've got no one that can slow the game down or speed it up. Right? So what ends up happening is we've got loads of players that give the ball away and don't have a set position. So we win the ball in midfield. We saw it today. It gets turned over every time. You stick a Wharton in there, a Locatelli, any one of that ilk, a Stiller. They straight away go, right, calm. Put their foot, right, slow down.
Yeah, okay, they're better players. They're better. They're better. But it's not 0 to 100. Like, it's like okay, they're not. We don't have the ideal players that we want. That doesn't mean that they can't play decent.
But like if we have a structure, you've got players like Berghvall and Gray that don't do that job, Brian.
The problem is, Brian.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing coaching. I'm not seeing coaching either.
I think we can all agree that we need an 8. But at the same time, to make out like we have no good midfielders when everybody, Saba, me and you were speaking about Paulinho all summer.
I'm not talking about Simons, though. I'm not talking about playmakers. I'm talking about midfielders.
Yeah, okay, so if we were to go and get out, if we drop 100 million quid on 120 million quid, and we go and get we go and get Adam Wharton in our team, what changes specifically, and where do you think the squad is suddenly capable? What's the squad suddenly capable of achieving?
But Sean. But the thing is, you're making out like I've said, all we need is a number 8. I
literally just said a minute ago, are you saying that the inability to have a number 8 is the root of our problems? And you said, yes, I can, Sean.
Hang on. No, Sean, you're doing that for, hang on.
Let me answer.
I think it's the root of our problems in being able to control a game and pass a ball, right? We've got no one that can control the tempo of a football game. All the other clubs that we want to be like have that player, right? Now, that will improve us, doesn't suddenly make us amazing. I think the fullbacks are poor. I think Porro is defensively awful, by the way. But again, everyone will rave about him because he can cross a football. Defensively dreadful, right? So you've got poor fullbacks. I think Udogie as well. I keep hearing how good he is. Never been impressed with him. Udogie and Porro for me are poor. We've got no number 8. You've got no link up on the left-hand side of midfield and no striker that can hold the ball up. When I look at that, that's 5 or 6 of the 11, which I think lets us down, right? You start adding those positions, you add the 8 and the left winger. Now suddenly you've got a ball-playing midfielder who can go, right, slow the game down. I can give it to the right winger. I can give it to the left winger. I can play with Xavi Simons. Right now, there is a huge
Right, but this time last
disconnect.
season, the entire conversation in the fan base was we haven't got a defensive
Good
midfielder.
DM, 100%.
But that's not all I said, was it, Sean? Everyone knows I've asked for a whole new midfield.
Let's look back.
The
to
main thing everyone
midfield.
questioned was the main position that everybody said was we are missing a DM big time.
Why?
Obviously, there was other sides to
Why
it.
last
but that
season
was
was
the main one that
But
everyone
now we've gone and
questioned.
got that. We've gone and got that player.
But
Nothing
why?
fundamentally changed. Now the goalpost will move. And if we were to go and sign Locatelli and nothing changes, then they'll say, "Well, we still haven't got that left winger. Still haven't got that."
No,
striker."
when we had Pochettino, right? We had two. There was sometimes when we had two water carriers in the pivot, and they weren't great passers of the ball, but we were still able to structure our way out.
Dembele.
No. Times when Dembele was injured, we had like Wanyama and Winks, or what's the big French lad?
Ndombele.
No. The before him,
Oh, Sissoko.
Sissoko. Like he's not a footballer. But we still had a structure where we could play football, and the fullbacks
Because
would
you had
bomb on.
Ericsson and Dele Alli and
No, but that's the Xavi. That's the forward area. I'm
But
talking.
it's a
You're talking
team.
about
It has to
the
link.
pivot.
Brian,
It
I'm
has to
sorry.
link.
Any good coach will tell you if you've got the makeup of a brilliant team, yeah, right. If then Dembele comes out because he's injured for any reason, the whole team doesn't fall apart because they're so used to playing the structure.
But that's what I'm saying. The structure. That's what I'm saying, Sabah. The structure. So
let me finish the
But
sentence.
the difference.
Hang on. But the structure goes with quality. Right now, we
didn't have quality. We didn't have quality when we went on the ball when Yama and with Sissoko.
No.
Wanyama was amazing on the ball.
Hang on.
Wanyama was not amazing on the ball, man.
Brian,
He was
you're
not
not
Yes, he
amazing
was.
on
What did you watch? He was amazing on the ball.
Hang on, but
Oh,
you're
I
not
can show you so
listening
many
to Brian.
videos.
No,
I can show you so
he
many videos of him.
He
How
wasn't
good he
that,
was on
was
the
he?
ball. Yes, he
wasn't
was.
that.
He was not
He was
amazing
far
on
from
the
the
ball.
No, he wasn't.
No,
Fucking
he
Hang on, can we get back to the point? Hang on.
I don't know what you were watching.
He was
Hang on,
all
he was
right
a
on the
very-
ball. He was brilliant
He
at
was
what
a
he
solid.
did.
He was a solid ball winner. That's what he was.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, he was
Brian, the
very
11.
good on the ball.
No, he
The
wasn't.
11 was set, though.
No,
The
he wasn't.
team was set. It had
I'm
been
with you.
It had been together for years. Taking one player out of a team.
Yeah,
that
but
had
that's
been
what we need.
together-
We need a structure. We need a structure, man.
Right. Okay. So when Poch came, we didn't have that structure for the first.
Yeah, he
5
cleared
games.
out players. And Frank needs to put his foot down. If he wants players in the summer, he should have said, "I need this player," or it's not going to work.
Hang on. See, this is what we always go back to. Did he not want Morgan Gibbs-White and Eze and Savio and Morgan Rogers? You can't just reinvent history here that he should have put his foot down to get the players.
How do we know he wanted Morgan Rogers? How do we know? We know he wanted Savio. That was pretty much clear.
By the way, Morgan Rogers is not
and
a
Gibbs-
player
and Gibbs White,
we're talking about. Like, he's a forward player.
Yeah, but the whole right, hang on, but the crux of coaching, this is where it's not the crux of coaching is you put the right pegs in the right holes and things start to align and link up, right? You can't say we've got these 5 cogs, but these 6 cogs don't work. You put the right pieces in the right place and everything aligns. That's what, if you look at the managers that have been at clubs for years, that's what they've built. That's what they've implemented. Pochettino took ages to implement that, and it didn't happen over one summer transfer window. Right?
Basically, you're saying it's square pegs in round holes, like what Frankie's doing at the moment by still keep playing 2 wing backs as fullbacks because we haven't got no fullbacks, but he still keeps playing with fullbacks.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not.
I'm just
what
trying
I'm
to make
saying.
sense of what you're saying. It's a question.
It's
Nothing
really
more.
simple. What I'm saying is we all know where the gaps are in the Spurs team, right?
Mhm.
If we go and buy and start buying proper players to fill those gaps, and again, this isn't about Frank. This could be any manager because we'll have this same conversation if Poch comes back. Poch comes back, he's going to want and need the same type of players he had before. He's going to need a midfielder that does what Dembele does. He's going
Very rarely, Sava, does every manager have everything they need, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Not unless it's an old
Sure.
Chelsea manager.
Hang on.
Yeah,
Pep
Chelsea
Guardiola.
managers have too much of what they need. You know?
Or
Exactly.
Arteta.
Sure.
Yeah, but
sure.
like Liverpool don't have enough centre backs. Newcastle could do with with more centre back. Like there's always situations
You
where
have to work around.
I don't disagree with the premise that we need a better
Hang on,
midfield.
I'm
making out like I
clubs
think
that are
that
settled.
I
You've
know.
named settled football clubs. We're a football club that have been a shambles for years and have had one summer window.
Well, the other factor that Sav is definitely right on is that we need time. Like this, you can't expect any manager to come in right now to where we've been 17th in the table, and to immediately sort everything out is fallacy. Like
it's not immediately. It's not immediately. It's half a season. You have
but even that. But that's
immediate.
That
is immediate. It's not a lot of time.
That's
let me bring Teflon in because he hasn't said anything for about two hours. How you doing, Teflon?
You're
He's
on
on
mute.
now.
You're on mute.
Come on,
Might
Kareem.
make sense now. I'm off mute. Yeah, I agree with Sava. We don't have the players that we need. So I think if Enoch came out and said, look, January, we're going to give the manager a backing. We're going to put money into the squad to build and bring the players in that the manager needs. I think they could do a big favour to the whole club by doing that tomorrow and saying, it's not good enough. We're not happy with these results. The standards have not been great, but we need to back the manager and his coaching team by giving him the players he needs as best we can. Also, I think if I went into that squad as a coach, I'd be looking at that squad and thinking, okay, what I've got here really is not a four-man defence. This is more like a three-man defence with wing-backs. And I would pack the fuck out of that midfield because you're getting overrun with players that are too young to have the responsibility. So I would pack the midfield. I would put three across that middle. I would even play 3-5-2 and let that midfield really dominate physically. Put Berghvall in there, maybe with Paulinho and Bentancur. Have three big, horrible bastards in there.
Would you bring back Vuskovic?
Sorry?
Would you bring back Vuskovic for the back three?
Well, I don't think you can really at the moment because he's got a season loan. But, I mean, Danso on the right side of the three and let Romero bring the ball out. Let him be the libero to bring the ball out from the back three. But you can't have Pedro Porro one-on-one against quick wingers. Doesn't work, sorry. As for the left side, you can have players like Mathys Tel as a wing-back when Udogie's out because they've got pace, and that's all you're going to need them to do is track back, and you have one of the defensive midfielders covering when they go forward. But I don't know why Frank's insisting on playing Porro as a right-back. He's not a right-back. He was never a right-back at Sporting.
Exactly.
A little while ago, he even said on his social media, I am not a defender. I am not a fullback. I'm more of a winger.
Mm-hmm.
You can play Kudus then as an attacking midfielder if you push Porro wide as a wing-back. Let him run at players. Let him attack. He's isolated at the moment. He has no options to play it to. That's why he keeps going down blind alleys.
Complain, though. Like you've just said, pack the midfield with three big players in midfield. Fans will then start complaining again that there's no creativity and that he's gone pragmatic.
Well, if you can have Kudus in there as well. But the thing is, if you don't win your midfield battles, like we've been saying all through this show, it doesn't matter if you have creativity or not.
To be fair, John, I actually think
you just said it there, John. You just
speaking. Sorry,
but John was just saying it exactly there. Like it doesn't matter unless you win the midfield battle. But what players have we got in our midfield that can win a midfield battle? We haven't got players that can do it.
Only Paulinho.
It's not the battle.
Only Paulinho. Only Paulinho.
It's not the battle.
You might be able to ask. Kudus is the only person that can keep hold of the fucking ball. By the way,
yeah,
it's not the battle. It's the technical. It's the what I'm seeing that's lacking is
who do we have then can do that?
Yeah, well, I think first of all that this, I'm not seeing a structure of where you can pass out from the back. Is the first thing.
Conte didn't have technical players in the midfield.
Yes, he did.
And look how bad we were to watch. People can
he did finish top four though.
He used to play.
Hang on, I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I'm saying is, at the beginning of this season, when we weren't good to watch and not creating chances, right, but not losing games, everyone lost their mind, right?
Yeah, but now it's not down to the fans to pick the team.
No, I'm not saying
But
it is.
why did we start performing better? Because he brought in Bentancur and Kulusevski, and then our fortunes changed that second half of the season.
So this is why I'm so confused as to what people
We
want.
had to bring in players to do that job. And let's also face it. Sorry, Sam. Let's also face it. Bentancur, before that injury, was a lot better player. We haven't seen anywhere near the levels of the Bentancur we can see. So for me, Bentancur's done. He's finished at Spurs. He's done.
I think he's done. I think he's done. Yeah.
He's finished. Right? Yeah. Go on, Sam. Sorry.
No, just saying the issue is though.
I wouldn't say he's finished.
We don't change anything. We're fans. We sit and we talk about it, right? It doesn't really matter what conclusion we come to here. It's not going to affect the team for Liverpool. But on the one hand, we've got everyone sitting and moaning and going, it's too pragmatic. We need to do this. But then when the manager came away from what was working as pragmatic, everyone now seeing how much it opens up, right? If he goes back to being tough in the middle, which is what John said, right? That if we go back to being strong in the midfield with like Bentancur and Paulinho, for example, everyone goes, Bentancur, Paulinho don't work. Why is he doing that? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. If we're talking about square pegs, round holes, well, Tel or Odegaard are a square peg in a round hole if they go left wing back. Kudus is a square peg in a round hole in attacking midfield. He is much better on the right. We've seen all of his best performances come from the right for Ajax and West Ham and for Spurs. So we're doing that thing again where, all right, we won't have wing backs at fullback. We'll go to the wing back system, but now you've moved other players around. And this goes down to Spurs have not built a squad properly for years. This goes down to we've not built a proper squad. And this is the shit we're now having to put up with. We're having to put up with.
Do you think that he should be? I think he should be getting more out of what he has in terms of that we can see a project. We can see something that can be built upon. Like when we watched that game today. Yeah, but I know, but look, like you can watch a team and say they're not good enough.
This notion is like we are, like our squad is relegation fodder.
Yeah, it's not.
I think it's mid-table.
No, the thing I'm struggling with this, and I'm struggling.
Nottingham Forest are 17th, and we didn't put a glove on them in any way, facet, or form.
But they're also in good form, aren't they? They're also in good form.
Yeah, so are we. So are we, though. It's unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable. Hang on, right? Hang on a second. Let me just land a point here. It's unacceptable to me. I don't look at it. It's like not even trying against Chelsea and Arsenal was bad enough. We didn't try at all today, and it's Nottingham fucking Forest. It's not like they're world beaters, right? And so this notion, like when we lose a game the way we do, there's this narrative that these players are just fucking like they're amateur footballers. They're championship level talents. They're not. They are not. They're not as good as some people say, but they're nowhere near as bad as others make out. And there's agendas that are always at play here to defend previously asserted notions. I'm sorry, these players are capable of more. And this manager, this manager is employed and paid a lot of money, as are his coaching staff, for a reason. And part of the responsibility of a coach to coach players is not just about coaching the technical ability, it's about coaching the mindset. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point? What is there? Why are they getting paid millions of pounds a year? What are they here to do? What are they here to do?
Sean, yeah, but that doesn't happen in 4 months. This is the thing. I agree with you, but that doesn't. If you look at most coaches that are at clubs for years,
Sean Dyche has done it in 2 months.
Hang on.
Sean Dyche hasn't really done a huge amount.
Sean Dyche hasn't. Sean Dyche has gone back.
He got them motivated for today, and they played on Thursday.
Okay.
Sean Dyche has basically just gone back to what the winning formula was with Nuno.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
He got them motivated for every single ball, every first ball, every second ball.
Yes.
He did the man-to-man press.
Today he did, but he lost
on Thursday. On Thursday night. We played on Tuesday.
I'm not doubting.
They lost on Thursday as well.
They wasn't shit. I'm talking about, this is the problem. I'm talking bigger picture.
I'm talking micro. On the micro, you have to be some accountability for the managers.
I'm not, no one's, but the thing is, again, you're saying it as though there isn't. There's no agenda here. For me, I said this in the summer. I don't rate this squad.
I'm not talking about you, Saba. I'm not talking about you. No,
I know. I can only speak for myself, Sean. I've never wavered from this. Danny will know this. Dan will know. I've never wavered from this. I don't rate many of these footballers. Said if you go into a Champions League season where you are playing twice a week and your midfield set of midfielders are that, and your left wingers are that, and your strikers are that, right? And you've only got 3 fullbacks of which are not fullbacks. I don't expect a lot, right? Now, I think if you give a manager lots of windows and time and it still doesn't get better, yeah, absolutely get the fuck out. But right now, we're about to do what we always do. We're 4 months in, right? We're 4 months in.
Have you seen anything from Thomas Frank? Has Thomas Frank shown you anything? Sava, just quickly, forget the macro shit because we all agree, right? But on the micro this week, micro Arsenal, micro Chelsea, micro Fulham, micro Monaco, micro Bodo.
No, it's
have
poor.
you seen
poor.
enough from him to sit there and go, he's the guy that deserves more time?
No. Absolutely, he's the guy that deserves more time because he hasn't had his players, right? This is if you don't give them, like Lubo said earlier, if you do not give the manager their players and then judge them and sack them, what does that say for the next manager coming in? That you are going to get no time to build. And if you don't get, listen, we're not talking about a team that is missing a striker, for example. Like if we were a really good team but couldn't score goals, right? You'd go, they're missing a striker. This is a team that has been built for how many different managers over the years? And we're going to do it again, right? We're going to do this thing again.
My problem with Frank is that he looks like a mid-table. His strategy looks like mid-table to me.
We are mid-table.
Yeah, but at the minute, look, the issue I've got with this at the minute, I'm trying to keep this level-headed, like trying to keep both sides on this. But the way I am seeing things at the moment is that Ange got ripped to pieces by most of us and fair dues as well. And it was down to Ange's style, Ange's tactics. Now we've got Frank on there, who's actually doing worse than what Ange was this time last season. Well, he is. Where were we after 15 games last season?
Yeah, but at the end of the season, he won't be doing worse. He won't be doing worse.
That we can only see. I can only judge on what I am seeing at the moment, yeah? And then at the end of the season, I can judge the end of the season.
That's better than last season.
But the way we are playing at the moment, we are no better than what we were under Ange. We're conceding more and scoring less.
But this is not an Ange debate.
And the way no, it's not. But the thing I'm saying, well, that's football. Live with it. When it comes down to it, I'm seeing Frank getting defended by heart and soul when I think he's actually got a lot that he's got to take account for, basically.
Just like every other manager.
The previous manager, yes.
Just like every other manager.
Yeah, but I feel he's getting defended a hell of a lot more than after a manager losing, after a manager losing 22 games, we couldn't work out that it was the players that were too shit. It was purely down to the manager. Now we got another manager in there who's looking no better than what we had. Oh no, it's not this manager. No, it's purely down to the players. If we were that bad under Ange, then I expect after 15 games we look a fair bit better.
Okay, so Dan, so now let's add context. See, this is the problem with your whole theory of everything in the world is black and white. First and foremost,
no.
Ange will get judged because he had 400 million pounds, right? No, let's break out the context. Ange had 400 million pounds and something like 19 new signings. In year one,
that's right.
Ange Postecoglou had every single day on the training pitch because there was no Europe, right?
Yep.
There's the first point. Ange Postecoglou, forget what I judged him, had 2 full years at this football club and lost so many games, right, that it was unfathomable. Thomas Frank has had one window, right, in a summer where everything at the club changed from medical staff, manager, coaches, CEO, board, directors, director of football, everything, right? He's had one window. He's playing twice a week in the Champions League. Yeah. He's lost all of the goals from last year, which I said we did not replace in this summer. It doesn't matter what people say. We did not replace the number of goals we lost in the team, right? And has had 15 games. Fans think 15 games is a long time to coach. It is not. And this is the difference, as I said, between go and speak to coaches in the game and managers. They will tell you it takes time. Fans will go after 15 games. He's hardly got them on the training pitch. Right?
True. That's true.
He's hardly got them on the training pitch, Dan. So when you're saying you expect to see us different, we're playing Champions League football every 3 days. We've removed.
I didn't say totally different. I said I expect us to be a bit better, and we're not.
We've removed. We've removed all of the goals and assists from last season.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Where
of the
do you
goals
expect to be better?
Simmons have come in, needs some time to hit the ground running. Kudus,
We've got a full defence back with a DM, and we're conceding more goals.
That's also
Hang
true.
on.
Because our attackers aren't finishing
true.
anything.
Hang on. I'm going to get there, right?
Sorry, I'm just adding context.
Don't be sarcastic, right?
Why not?
I'm going to get there, right, Dan? I'm going to get there. For me,
Surely but surely. Keep going.
Savas, spot on.
right? But this is the problem. Football fans think that things change in 3 to 4 months, right? This is ridiculous. If everyone wants to remember back to Pochettino's era, right? After 15 games, we were worse than now, right? After 15 games, we were worse than now. He got to the summer. We slowly but surely started to get better as the longer he had the players. Then he got rid of some players in the summer, brought in some more players to his team. And in year 2, we started to look really good.
But can I ask you a question, Sabbath? Why is this team now playing out at the back worse now than it was in August? I remember in August, we were actually playing out from the back. You saw that, Dan. We were playing out from the back better then than we are now. Like, why are we regressing to this mid-table strategy now? That's regression.
Hang on. When you say regress to this mid-table strategy, this is a football team and a group of players that finished 17th, Brian.
No, but I'm saying in August, I was seeing the fruits of a new manager's coming in. He's putting in a
new manager bounce.
Maybe.
Hang on, you
will
get a new manager bounce, but also aren't we all the same fans that complained that the football we saw in August and September wasn't?
No, not me. No, I thought I could see. Not me. I thought there was actually that we were playing out from the back. We were more solid. Okay, at the other end we weren't good, but I could see that we were building out from the back and that we were building solid foundations.
I didn't see that. I'll be honest, I've not seen that this season at all because I don't think we've got the players to build out.
Well, for me, phase 1 and the defending was very good at the start, and it's regressed. Both of those things have regressed.
Yeah, phase 1 is falling apart.
Paulinho and Bentancur.
Yeah, because
as I said, when he had Paulinho and Bentancur, they protect the back four. Both of them were in the box defending everything. Fans hated it. The fans booed it. Didn't want it.
No, but we were playing out as well. We were actually playing out from the back as well.
In transition, we were counter-attacking.
In transition, maybe, but not as an actual.
We were actually playing out. We were starting. We were actually starting from the goalkeeper. We were spreading the centre backs. We were playing out with Porro and Romero. We don't do that anymore.
Okay, so
we were doing that on counter-attacks.
After 4 months.
After
4 months. Right? What do you want to see?
We weren't playing a possession-based football.
But
we were playing out like a bit like when Conte used to play out. We were actually playing out.
I didn't see. I've not seen that.
Well, then we started to just hit Kudus all the time.
Okay, Brian. Let me ask you now: if he goes right now, if he's sacked right now, who comes in and does better, and how long are we giving them?
Well, I'm not like
I'm not saying you've said that. Yeah. I'm just asking the question because most of the chat and most of the people I speak to are Frank's done shit. He must go.
Let me ask this. You mentioned earlier Steven Gerrard, right?
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard versus Unai Emery.
Yep.
Steven Gerrard was not making the most of a decent squad. Unai Emery worked with a better squad and got it better and better and then added to it. How do we not know that Thomas Frank isn't Steven Gerrard versus Unai Emery?
Sure, but
I think
there's
a fair point. I think.
Sure, but I think it's a fair point apart from the fact that Unai Emery didn't pick up a squad full of children and a squad of players that for years and years and years hadn't been performing. Like they had a bad spell.
No, that's not the point, though. It's not the quality of the squad's irrelevant to the point where you're saying that.
How is it irrelevant?
One manager didn't. It is.
Sorry, that's rubbish.
Let me land. Let me fucking land, boys. Jeez, Danny, jump.
Land the plane.
Danny, stop jumping in, bro.
Are you going to land the plane?
Let me land my point for a minute, bro.
I'm
going to try to. If you give me a chance, give me the controls. All I'm saying is the argument is whatever the quality of the squad, Steven Gerrard did his thing and it was shit.
I agree.
Next guy comes in, same squad, and took it further. All I'm saying is, regardless of the quality of the squad, how do we know that Thomas Frank is the Steven Gerrard version of the manager and the top versus the Unai Emery version of the manager?
We don't. But the thing is, just remember, we had Jose came in. Right, we had Conte. We've had the top class managers.
Different. Yeah, and that was with Harry Kane and Sonny and all that shit, right?
So, okay, but that's my point. Don't forget, we've done this whole route of bringing in serial winners. Like Emery's a serial winner, right?
Conte also had to work with fucking dog shit players like Eric Dyer and whatever else.
Question. You won't let me answer it.
A much worse team.
Right.
Much worse team.
hang on. Yeah, hang on. But again, context is really important. The overall team was worse. But when you have two world-class strikers that bang you 50 goals between them a season, they are going to cover over every little crack at Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, but they don't stop you conceding goals. And he had one of the worst dog shit defence out there and conceded less goals.
But that's not. But Dan, are you incapable of listening to the point I'm saying? I'm not talking about the back four.
No, maybe I just don't agree with it.
No, I'm not talking about the back four, Dan. I'm talking about.
I'm adding context to it and talking about the whole team.
All right. That's not context. We're talking about going forward.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'm talking about the whole squad.
Why? Sorry, why are we just talking about going forward? That's not reasonable. Why are we talking about going forward?
If I can finish a sentence, I might get.
Let him finish the point. Let him finish the point.
I'm talking about Son and Kane would paper over every crack because it didn't matter what happened on the rest.
Over every crack. Not every crack.
So, Sab, hang on a second, mate. Sab, you're getting wound up, but you're making out the argument that Sonny and Kane made everything better.
I haven't made any argument yet. You've all interrupted me at every opportunity. I'm trying to get to the point.
Okay, let him talk.
Right, Son and Kane will turn any average squad, right, or poor squad into a top half squad or a top six squad because they will get you 50 goals a season and give you 30 assists between them a season, right? The problem is right now, we don't have that. So when we play crap, when we play average, we don't have that in our squad. We don't have goal scorers. We don't have people that can do things out of nothing like Son and Kane did. So if you look at all those years after Poch, Spurs weren't good for about 5-6 years. Like there was bits where we had good spells, but we weren't good for 5 or 6 years. But those two kept it ticking over with goals, assists,
with goals. But to Dan's point, we have better defenders now than we did under Conte and Mourinho, and we conceded more goals now than we did then. So Dan makes a valid point.
I'm not saying he's not, but I hadn't even got to that stage. But the problem is at the back, as I said, when we protected the back four, right, with the two, people didn't like it. When we protected that back four and had the third best defence in the league after 10 games, fans didn't like that we had the third best defence. It was, we can't attack better. He's changed it to what people asked for. And I said it after that very first game when he changed it. Look how wide open we are. Because
he's not striking the balance. He's not striking the balance, Saba. Like there's
like it opens us up at the back.
No, but like if you're a really good coach, like Pochettino, like Unai Emery, you're able to strike the balance of that you're solid and you're potent going forward. And
when that's you have players to do it.
Yes. If you've got players to do it.
Hang on a second. Our defence right now, when Ange had our defence fully fit, it conceded far fewer goals whilst playing gung-ho football. Right, exactly. Thomas Frank is supposed to be more pragmatic. This dismissiveness of Dan's point is absolutely bang fuck on. It's bang on, and we're just dismissing it out of hand because it doesn't suit. I'm not talking about you, Sabah. Like the general vibe.
Oh,
right?
we're the ones debating. So who are you talking about?
Like the chat as well. That are saying. Like I'm just saying, right? Like the general narrative that the defense is not part of the conversation. When it's brought part of the conversation, it's suddenly the goalposts are moved. Right? Like
no one's moving. Like stop saying moving goalposts. It's different conversations.
I haven't said it before. Let me finish.
You said it earlier. You said about moving goalposts.
He's just trying to add context to it.
Let me finish my point.
4 months.
Let me finish my point.
4 months.
I love our
debate. We let you finish eventually, so let Johnny do his thing.
Oh, okay. We've got to let people finish now. I didn't know the rules.
Sam, come on, mate. Sam, you want to allow people to finish. Like, everyone needs to have a chance to finish, right? The reality is that yes, Harry Kane and Sonny were different gravy. Although Sonny fucking fell off his cliff the last couple of years, Harry Kane obviously was the bigger person who paid the cracks going forward. But defensively, Dan makes a point that Conte and Mourinho both had a lot weaker defenses than what Thomas Frank has, but yet they conceded fewer goals.
Centre halves, yes. I'll give you the centre halves, but by the way, Antonio Conte had Christian Romero as well, by the way. So he's got the 2 centre halves, the 2 fullback. I find this hard conversation.
Along with Eric Dyer and Sanchez, by the way.
Matt Doherty's a better player than Jed Spence.
I didn't say that. I just think. Hang on. That's not what I said. Right. I just don't think they're good fullbacks at all. I think that Porro and Udogie, I've not seen why everyone raves about him. I'll be brutally honest. Porro, for me, he's a very good footballer. I'll say this all day, every day. He can't defend for toffee, right? So when we're saying he's got a much better defence, I think, yes, the 2 centre-halves are much better. I don't doubt that. But as I said, for the first 10 games of this season, our defence was doing really bloody well. And then the moment we opened up, we started conceding goals. And I said
why
this
did
to you before.
Why did we open up because Thomas Frank was under pressure from fans? Is that what you're saying?
I believe so, because everyone was booing and wanted more.
Then that's a big problem, Sava. That is a massive problem. If the manager then gets rattled by the fans and ain't strong enough to make his own, well, if he changed it because of the fans booing to him and that, then he was rattled. You just said it.
I don't use the word rattle, but sure.
No, you just basically, okay, my language, the way I'm saying it then. You just basically said the way I took that he changed it because of the fans.
They want something. Then
if the manager changes because of the fans, then the manager isn't obviously strong-minded. Conte would turn around and say, fans, shut the fuck up. I'm going to do it. Like even Ange would do that. Not that I like the way he played.
Sure,
if you're rattled by the fans, and then we'll change your system for the fans, then obviously you're not a strong-minded mentality manager. In my opinion.
Fair point.
Sure. Okay. So then why do we sit here having conversations about what we want to see? Then when we see it, we complain about it. I said all the time. How many times you guys see me argue with Lubo about this? He kept saying Bentancur, Paulinho. And I said, I'm telling you. I said, the moment you take both of them out of that midfield, we are going to be wide open because Gray, Berghvall and Sarr are not good enough. They are not strong enough and they can't defend. Right? We are going to be wide open. We've done it. He's moved away from it, and people go, "Oh, look how much better we are going forwards. We're wide open." But the thing is, whether or not this is the let me say this, and then I do need to go in a minute, right? The thing that gets me is when we're going much worse defense than Conte and Jose. He's had 15, 16 Premier League games. We're talking like he's had 18 months or a year. He's had so little time on the training ground. He's been here for 3 or 4 months and had one window where he got two senior players signed.
I think he's really missing a trick with the not playing Van der Ven at left back as well, by the way. Van der Ven could be an absolute weapon playing at left back.
And play who at left centre half?
Danzo.
I think that's a conversation that you have once you get more centre backs into the squad, because I don't think.
So you're talking about more players again?
But this is what I mean, Danny. Yeah. See, we now want to move the best defender in the club.
Oh my God!
Vuskovic. No left-footed centre half.
We let Vuskovic go.
No, we don't bring Vuskovic back. Vuskovic needs to have. It's ridiculous.
No, I'm not saying bring Vuskovic back. I'm saying that the idea of all I said was the argument around playing Vicky Van der Ven, which by the way he plays for his country at left back, and the argument that you could play him at left back is not a stupid one. 100%, it's a very fun argument.
But then you play in the middle.
Yeah, I'm saying at the moment you can't do it. So I disagree with Brian in terms of the imminency of it. In terms of
we're conceding goals anyway. Like, why don't we?
So let me just clear this up, right? So I know John earlier on said that you play 3 at the back, right, and play two wing backs, right? Do you not then have the argument that we haven't got the players enough? Because if we play that system and you have 1 or 2 injuries, then you're absolutely.
Well, no, but it's obviously. I said this. I was talking about the back three idea.
But I know. But isn't there? You
need to make sure that Radu Dragusin's back fit. You need to make sure that Kota
right. Fit. So now you're talking about. Sean, players coming back. Players that we have in the squad who are not available for Frank now. Which then hold on. Let me finish the point. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Right. So now you're talking about Frank picking players that he doesn't have available right now. So is it not an argument then to say that he's picking the players based on what he feels he has to manage because we don't have enough players in the squad?
Maybe.
fucking unbelievable. Oh my God. Tottenham fans, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait.
Yeah, Tottenham fans, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait. Super quick. I'm gonna have to cook you now. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You don't get to say
The
something
whole
and then just start clapping like
the
a
whole
fucking
concept,
seal.
Sean, is we don't have enough players.
What
We don't have enough players. We don't have enough players.
to move.
You're
to a
talking
back-
about moving players in different positions, right? But we don't have enough players.
Danny, calm down.
We got more injuries
Danny, wait
than
a
anyone
second.
else in Europe right now.
Let me answer. Brian suggested playing Micky van Ven at left back. I said, I don't hate the idea. I've been saying it for a while. He plays that way for his country, but we haven't got the players yet to do so. The idea of playing a back three is something I've also been a proponent of. We only saw it for 45 minutes, by the way, against Arsenal. And then we tried and tested it and then put it back on the shelf and said, look, see, it doesn't work. Same thing that Ange Postecoglou did against Everton away when we went 3-0 or 2-0 down or 3-0 down against Everton in the first half. And it's like, oh, let's just fucking give the fans what they want. See, it didn't work. Now shut the fuck up and let me do my thing. First of all, to Dan's point, if the manager is actually pivoting its formation to appease the fan base, that is slightly problematic because the fan base doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. None of us do. None of us are employed to be fucking football experts. None of us are qualified opinions. We're fans. And if the manager is literally picking teams to appease the fan base, then that is a fucking problem. It is a massive problem. I don't know why you're oofing like a fucking seal when
Because,
the notion
Sean,
is you shouldn't go to a back three.
Because
shouldn't
you,
go to back
again,
three,
you were
haven't played.
literally talking about players, bringing players in. This is what the whole fucking conversation me and Sam were having earlier on. We don't have the players to play what we want.
Hang on a second. I
God.
literally said the reason why we can't go to a back three is because we don't have the injured players coming back yet.
Yeah,
I'm not
we don't have
saying
the players.
No, but you're talking about signing for. Well, I don't know what you're making.
I'm also talking about, Sean, that we have the 15 injuries in the squad right now, which is the highest in Europe's top 5
have
leagues.
15 injuries in the squad. What are you talking about?
We have
We
more
had all that under
injuries.
Ange.
We
We
have
haven't
more
got 15
injuries.
injuries in the squad. What the fuck are you talking about?
The statistic was there earlier on today.
We've got 15 first team players out injured.
No,
That's
I've
what it was.
seen the statistic. I've seen the statistics that Spurs this season have got the worst injuries in Europe.
We've had a hell of a lot of injuries. Yeah, we have had a lot of. We haven't got
That's what
15
I
players.
thought.
We haven't got 15 players out there, Danny.
We've had 15 injuries this season, right?
Oh, 15 injuries this season, not the same as 15 players out currently, is it?
Right,
What's the fucking doing it?
But Sean, where
Jesus.
the players that are injured are important players that we've had out injured, right? Especially in the attack, right? We have
Not as much.
we have-
not as
But
much-
you're moving the goalpost in the argument. A minute ago, we were talking
Oh my
about the
God.
let's
Look,
play a
can I
black
finish
three.
the point? Am I allowed to finish the point?
As long as you A, stay on topic and B,
No.
start talking truth, you fucking moron. I love you. That's the loveliest way in the way I'm saying
No,
that.
you're not
Lovely, no
listening.
problem.
You're not listening. You're not listening again. You're just not listening.
So are the injuries a massive problem then? Would you
Of
say?
course, they're a massive problem.
But then why weren't they a problem with Ange? And it was all down to Ange
Of course,
basically,
they
and
were.
he should have been.
I was the one who was
and he should have been
saying.
different.
This is obsession
what?
with that.
Dan,
No,
you need
I'm
to stop
comparing.
yanking over Ange,
I'm
man.
comparing.
Honestly, like
Not
get
so-
up
I
to
don't need
Ange.
to do that, Dan. I have
I'll
a
tell you
wife.
why, Dan.
I don't need to
Can I
do
tell you
that,
why?
mate.
Can I
And
tell-
trust me,
okay,
she's
okay, let me
better
calm
than
down.
Ange.
Ooh, touchy.
Let me-
Ooh.
Danny,
Ooh.
let me tell you why.
Ooh.
Let me tell you why. First of all, for me, this is
Either that,
this is
Dan,
where
or
I
I'll make a phone call and it's here in 20 minutes, quicker than a bloody pizza, mate.
this is this is where, right? This is where I think the whole comparison thing goes wrong. Right? This is where I think the whole comparison thing goes wrong. We're comparing two separate seasons with different circumstances, right? So for me, I think it's really difficult when we go, well, where are we? 15 games last season, 15 games this season. First of all, let the whole season pan out. And if Thomas Frank at the end of this season has lost 22 Premier League games, right? You better believe it. I don't want him here, right? But all of this, Ange. It's
Ange is irrelevant.
right. Ange is irrelevant now, right?
Yeah.
My point is this, right? And then I'm going to go. I was meant to be meeting my mates 15 minutes ago, and I'm still here, right? And I need to get changed. My point is this: it's not that Frank doesn't take blame. Frank takes blame. It's not that I don't think Frank will stay here forever. Frank will go at some point, right? My point is this: if we're going to do this with every manager, this is a really scary thought that if fans think in 4 months, everything at a football club changes, right? There are some managers in the history of football that have come in, things have got worse to get better. Some managers come in and it's immediately great, right? Some managers are great in season 1. Other managers clicks in season 2 because they've now had more time, right? For me, I just think if we're going to go down that route after 4 months, I'm not saying anyone on this panel has said it. I think, one, comparing him constantly to Ange, I think this is really dangerous. I think this is really, really dangerous because I don't want to compare him to a manager that was sacked after 2 years.
How can you say we're better or worse then if you can't compare him?
Hang on. But we'll compare them, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can compare them. But at the end of the season, when the managers had time, right? This is the thing. As I said, when we as fans think that 4 months is a long time, in the world of football and coaching, it is not a long time. And if you look at the managers that have made players better over time, more often than not, it takes long time.
Sam, I have to ask you this question, and I don't mean this in an antagonistic way, but I have to ask you this question because when you bring that up, you did say last season.
Yeah,
I mean this with all. I'm not trying to wind you up here.
Just say it. Come on, what to say?
You did bring up that fucking picture of Ange Postecoglou with the high line against Chelsea, and you reflected back and said, "I was Ange out from that moment."
Sure, we've had this conversation before. Whenever you try and mug me off like this, we've had this conversation.
I'm not mugging you off. I'm asking you.
We've had this conversation
before. It's not mugging you off. It's not mugging you off.
Right, okay. But
we've had the same thing.
No, but it's not the same thing. But this is not the same thing because what I've seen Thomas Frank do at a football club is what I want to give him time to do. I'd never seen Ange Postecoglou do that at a football club, right? What I'd seen Ange Postecoglou as a football manager is that he was always gung-ho crazy. So when I saw it so early on, I was like, this is not going to work. What I've seen with Thomas Frank is he is a coach that develops over years. Right? Seen that both his previous clubs, he started very poorly and very slowly. Right? So there was conversations in the summer where this isn't going to be plain sailing. There's going to be a real rough patch. But, right? This isn't Ange versus Frank. The problem is if we're going to do this game, right? Then what do we do with the next manager? After 4 months, we're going to go, but you said
I agree with you on that.
The new manager is going to be different again in the way he approaches. The next manager is going to be different, right? I've seen Frank build at Brentford, right? Over time. Now, whether he gets that time at Spurs, he probably won't. But we've seen over time, Frank got it better.
That's a very good point.
Right?
Frank is very much a grower, a developer of.
Yeah, he's a slow burn. He's a slow burn. I hear you on that. I hear you on that. Sam, I'm not mugging you off, mate. Like I'm just reminding you. But like that was the narrative last. Am I wrong? That was the narrative last season.
I explained this before. Is there's a difference between a manager who comes in and I know notoriously starts slowly, right, and builds his team up. So I want to see it and give it time. Versus Thomas Frank versus Ange, who we were told by previous managers that this guy only plays gung-ho and it never changes or develops over time. So when I saw Thomas Frank do that, Ange do that, I was like, no, this is what you do everywhere. Now, Frank might not be the guy. I'm not dying on a hill for Frank. But all I'm saying is we're going to set a dangerous precedent. If you sack him after 4 months.
I agree with that as well.
Want him out after 4 months, right? And we want to compare him to, like when Dan's comparing him to Ange after 15 games last year. After 15 games last year, Ange Postecoglou had his entire full squad and was playing Europa League midweek, right? And had those players. We have not once seen Thomas Frank have a fully fit squad. Not once. We've not once seen Thomas Frank have his entire squad to play with, right? So if we sack a manager like that, fine, we'll bring in the next one. But then what's the expectations of the next manager?
I don't think anyone's saying sack him. I won't deny it. I'm on the fence with him because I haven't seen any improvement.
But I don't think anyone here is saying it. No one on this
I'm just counting for myself here. But what I can judge by, and I can only judge by game so far and compare it to what I saw under a previous manager and that, I have seen no improvement as yet under Frank. Okay, maybe I will judge it at the end of the season is where you can make the fairest judge. But at this moment in time, The way we are playing, the way we are scoring, conceding, literally every way, still breaking records that we shouldn't be breaking under Frank, like we were under Ange. I'm not seeing any improvement. So I will sit here and question if he's good enough and his accountability for it, basically.
I'm not saying
and I
you
think
shouldn't.
that's what a lot of people are doing. I think that's what most
I get it,
people
but a lot of
actually
people
doing.
don't understand that sometimes it takes time. Like
Of course it does.
The thing is, we are not willing, as a fan base, we're not willing to go through pain, right? And that's all I'm saying is sack him, brilliant. Not saying you've said that, sack him, brilliant. But then we give the next manager the exact same amount of time, right? Because that's how it's going to work. If we're saying that, if the next manager gets 16 league games, can't believe it, he's got the same amount of points, he's conceded the same amount of goals, scored the same amount of goals. Right,
no patience yet.
get him out. Right,
I hear you on that, and I'll support you on that.
Standard.
I'll support you on that by also saying that the geezer came out and said, if I can't get the player I want, I'd rather wait. And if you're going to punish him for not picking anybody else other than the guy that he wanted, and then you sack him before he gets the next opportunity, then the next manager is always going to say, get me who I want. And if you can't get me who you want, I'll take what you give me because I'm not going to get a second window necessarily. So I hear you on that. 100% hear you on that.
Sean, we did a show the other day and we said, right, if Thomas Frank has got, if he gets given a proper top left winger that he wants, a proper ball player that he wants, and a striker that he wants, for example, right, and then he gets them for 5-10 games and performances aren't improving and tactics aren't improving, I'm there. I'm going to be there with everyone going, mate, you've had some good players. Why is this not working? Right now, I'm looking at this and my worry, this is what I said to you guys all in the summer. All of the goals and assists from last season were stripped out. We didn't replace them. That was a huge issue for me. Sonny, doesn't matter if he was fading. His numbers last year were still very good. His performances were fading, but his numbers were still very good. We didn't replace it. Right? James Maddison.
His numbers are completely different to Odegaard. Like, even when Sonny was bad, his numbers are completely different to Odegaard.
Of course.
We were playing into every single move was down the sunny side, right?
No, of course, but we still haven't. Sure, whichever way we look at it, right? Maddison,
I hear you on that.
Maddison got replaced by Xavi Simons, if you will. I know Maddison's still here, so Maddison's been replaced with a less experienced, lesser player at this stage. I think Xavi Simons could be better than him in the future, but at the moment, a less experienced player, right? Mawani coming in on the last day of the window when he's not fit, and by the way, I don't think he's a prolific goal scorer. I think he's showing that he's not a prolific goal scorer. For me, was a panic, right? We didn't replace Son, right? Yes, we added Paulinho, but I think a lot of it, to go back to an earlier point in the show, a lot of it, Paulinho was wanted so much for last season because we played the gung-ho, wide-open fullbacks on the halfway line in the number 10 position that we wanted a number 6. Now, I love Paulinho.
We still needed him.
Absolutely. I'm not doubting that.
And so many people on Twitter are fucking throwing him under the bus like he's a bad player. It's a fucking disgrace. He's been so good this year, generally.
Look, I'm going to go. I'm going to let you lot talk. I'm going to go. Look, all I'll say is by saying this, right? As I said, if I wake up in the morning and he's sacked, fine. But I want to. But we need a solution. I see a lot of people just saying sack. I want to see. What is the solution? Who is the manager coming in? How long are we giving him? And are we going to do this comparing after every 15 games? If you're going to give a manager 15 games to compare, then no manager at Tottenham is ever going to work. Because if we're going to compare this to,
it's like a probation period, Saf. Everyone in the normal work gets a probation period. If you don't pull your weight in the first couple of months, you're not going to get the full contract.
It wasn't 16 games, by the way. Sorry, it was after the first 14 games or 15 games. It was Poch. It was worse than Frank. So, but my point is, you can't really compare that. Like, it's different players, different squad, different opposition. I just think all of this talking about Ange, right? We're going to do this, Sean, when this manager goes. It will be, but Frank, but Ange. It's not helping. We need a Spurs manager to be a Spurs manager and to have some time to build and grow. This is not helping. It's like when we compare strikers to Harry Kane. It's not helping.
The only thing is that if a manager is an attacking manager at Spurs, they do generally get a lot more time to build what they want.
True. Very true. And
there is a new manager. The fact I haven't had a single chance to look at even Thomas Frank's quotes, let alone the rest of the fan base on Twitter. But I can only imagine that the pressure is ramping up. If he loses to Liverpool, God knows what and that's likely at the moment. God knows what will happen. Sav, I'll let you go, mate. I'm going to do some super chats. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate you, buddy.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Please
so-
go over to FHTV and let me move this into a 5-ball for a second. And let me just do some super chats quickly, guys. How much time has everyone got, by the way?
Plenty.
Yeah,
Wife's
I
gone
mean,
out. Got plenty of time.
We'll carry on arguing for a minute.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'll get stuck in on Danny in a minute about something. Fuck you, Danny. Appreciate it. Love you. Nigel
tonight,
C. Nigel C.
Super
is both of you. Both Danny and Danny. Danny and Danny. Both of you. Fuck both of you. How about that? Double middle fingers. Nigel C's become a new member. Appreciate you, Nigel. Thank you very much, mate. Look forward to meeting you on the Spurs fan show. Super quick. Someone's just sent me something in the. You sent me a private chat, John. What's that? Is that what's that? Who's John? Is that you, Johnny boy? Teflon. John.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. I think it was.
This guy's saying that Lubo's a flip flop.
Lubo's a massive flip flop. I'm gonna. I'll get the jingle out in a minute. Acid Twin, polite reminder. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Very generous. He said, polite reminder that I have hated this squad for over 6 years. Fucking hell, Acid Twin. This is what we do. This is what we do in football content. We go, I fucking said this before you said this, and I don't want to fucking let anyone forget that I was the first person to say this. You're saying 6 years. 6 years the squad has been shit. Lubo was defending them. Especially the youth. Love you guys. Most of you anyway. Appreciate you, Acid Twin. Thank you very much, my man. Big up to you. Very generous. Adam, score draw lock. Big up to you, mate. He says Enoch needs to pull their finger out this out of their arse this January. Yeah, 100%. It's a difficult window to do business though, mate. It's not just as simple as like write some checks. It's convince some teams, convince some players. Kane Bryan. Big up to you, Kane Bryan. He says, I agree with the bloke in the top right. He got a good point. Has that always been Danny? It might be Danny.
That was Shawnee until a minute ago.
Yeah.
Was it me?
The bloke in the top right.
Standard. But actually, that super chat was put in like an hour and 10 minutes ago, so I don't know.
Do we not have our names?
Very much. Whoever
we not have our names on the thing there.
Yeah, then I think the names will come back in a second. Ian JD, big up to you, Ian. He says nothing will change until we have new owners. Yeah, I mean, yeah, possibly, probably. It's interesting though, because we were talking earlier about on the pre-match, we were talking about should we sign Mason Greenwood? And the general thought process is like, no, we don't want any of those sorts of people at our football club. And I was like, yeah, but is everyone okay with, I don't know, Qatar coming in? Don't they like allegedly throw gays off roofs and things? Don't they allegedly like make women feel
Mason Greenwood is married to that girl now, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we all saw in her what he did, you know, just because she might have forgiven him doesn't mean that he's a better person than that. Big up to you, Ian. And he come back with another one as well. Thank you very much, mate. He says, when you don't have the players who can pass the ball in midfield, I'm not surprised Frank tries to bypass the midfield. And that's fine. If you're going to bypass the midfield, though, there's time and a place to do it. And that's what I said. I said before the game. I said it yesterday, and I said it the day before yesterday. I felt like we were going to play to their strengths via trying to play to ours. And I think that's exactly what happened. And listen, I'll be honest. Thank you very much, Ian. I'll be entirely honest. Like I felt like today was a fait accompli. I said 2-2 just because I was like leaning towards Spurs, but I never thought Tottenham were going to win today, ever. Because I felt like you look at the way that they play, and you look at the way we're going to try to play to our strengths, and you're going to like. It's like saying, like, I don't know, one step forward, 2 steps back with the same.
I agree with you, Sean. Like what I was saying was that all season I've kind of defended Richarlison because he will put the ball in the back of the net. But to be honest, he's a crock. He can't run in behind, he can't run the channels. And like he was a statue up there today. Like for me,
Richie was fucking atrocious.
Richie was abysmal. You have to run down the side of the centre backs if you're staying up there as well. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like, and I've defended him. You know I have like his record and all that. I said if you play him up front, he will get goals, and he's getting goals this year. But he's not good enough. You know, clearly, like we need somebody that's running the channels, running in behind, that's got a triple threat. Like if you have a guy that's up front and all he's doing is going into the try and get on the end of things on of crosses, like that's not enough. Sorry, you know.
Yeah.
Like Moani will run the channels, won't he? And he'll run in behind and he'll do more. Like,
do you guys think that? Let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this: if you could, what manager would? How do I say this? What manager, what caliber of name would it take for you to be like, okay, you sack Frank tomorrow if we can get him on Tuesday? What caliber of manager is it going to take for you to be on board? Because I think we're all kind of
who's available? Who's available?
No, I'm saying, forget about that. I'm just saying, like, if you got a insert name here, if you saw Thomas Frank on the brink, Spurs in discussions with insert
Pochettino.
So if you could get Pochettino, it's not obviously that's not going to happen because he's going to the World Cup.
That's why I asked that question.
In the hypothetical, you would swap. You would swap
immediately.
What about Glasner?
No, because he's counterattack. Tottenham don't do counterattack. We won't accept it. Like it'd be the same situation.
Iriola?
Yeah, I'd take him. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, I would.
And would you give? And to Saba's point, would you give him more than 15 games?
Yeah, but I think he would. I think the whole thing of getting games is that at Tottenham, if you're an attacking manager and you're showing an intent for the future, you will get more time. Like Ange got so much leeway compared to Frank. You know what I mean?
Ange did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're an attacking manager, you get way more leeway at Tottenham than you will.
Would you take the nutcase out of Marseille, De Zerbi?
For as a short term, I would. Till the
summer.
He's
not going to come in the short term, is he? Oh, yeah, so okay. So you want Poch, right? So basically, you're saying,
I want Poch.
So stick with Potter and stick with.
He to me, he's the perfect manager for Tottenham Hotspur. Like he's a developmental manager. He's a front foot manager. He gets the balance right for what we want. He develops young players. He's the man for Tottenham. Like,
what about you, John?
At the moment, with this squad, I would probably take Glasner because I think he suits the squad. I know Sava's saying we don't have the players, but I look at that Palace squad and that Palace midfield. Other than Adam Walton, that Palace midfield are not world beaters. Yeah, they won the FA Cup.
Where have they finished in the league, though, John?
Where have they finished in the league? Well, I would have taken an FA Cup win.
I know, but like, we won the Europa League last year. Like, it's not.
Do you put Thomas Frank in the same caliber of manager as
the Europa League? Definitely.
My question is, like, you look at Unai Emery, right?
The final, they won the league.
To me, the bread and butter. The bread and butter has to be right at Tottenham, the league. You know.
Yeah, but I'm saying is, for the squad we've got, he's the most suited manager at the moment.
I don't think the fans would accept him. That's my view.
It doesn't matter about the fans. They're not playing the football. They're not playing
but they influence things, you know.
You say it doesn't matter about the fans, but it's the whole reason why we're having this debate is because the fans are not happy with Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're having a debate, because of the fans. So you can't say it doesn't matter.
Fans can get a manager out of the club. Like fans can get a manager out.
If you run a business, do you care what a couple of people are saying? You're going to do the right thing for the business.
But John, the fans can get a manager out. Like fans can get a manager out.
Yeah.
How?
But that's
by booing in the stadium every game and putting pressure on the board.
People will still go and buy their beers, buy their burgers,
the pressure can build. The pressure can build from the fans to get a manager sacked. Like Nuno was sacked. Nuno was sacked because the fans were not having him.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. This wasn't the question. The question was, who would I have?
Okay, well, yeah, sorry.
The question wasn't who would you have based upon the fans' opinion.
Okay.
This is my opinion at the moment. This squad at the moment, I believe, suits Glasner best. And it probably is a counter-attack squad because we don't have playmakers. We don't have forwards who are that good at holding the ball up. The players are more progressive in a counter attack. They're not going to control games. They're not going to be a midfield that controls the tempo.
So what you're saying is, John, you'd rather get a manager, right, to suit the shit players that we have at this squad, rather than buy better players to suit a different manager who plays a way that fans maybe will get on board with.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, but it's you're insinuating that going by getting Glasner. You just said getting Glasner, right? Getting Glasner suits the players that we have right now, right?
That's right.
What you said.
You can't sign players right now, can you? You can only sign them in January.
But why would that make a difference? Because these players are still.
That's only a month away, John.
Sorry.
That's only a month away.
But there's no guarantee that you're going to get, like, let's say you're going to get Xavi Hernandez or some, possession place coach, and Enid go, oh, there's 250 million for you to go and sprinkle all over the place some technical players. There's no guarantee in it.
But based on what I've seen since we sacked Poch, we've gone for window managers that were the wrong fit. And the Spurs fans, it's not in our DNA. We do not want a defensive counter-attack manager.
The thing is, everyone keeps talking about bringing managers to suit these players. But one of the fundamental problems of the Tottenham club is these players are not good enough. So it doesn't matter who the manager is.
I'm not saying they're not. I didn't say they wasn't. I said at the moment that's the manager for me that most suits the squad.
No, he's right on what he's saying. He's right on what he's saying. And Dan, saying these players are not good enough. I agree to an extent.
I don't want any manager to suit these players.
And you're both right.
Do you not think I would love to see world-class players at Spurs? I've been going since I was 7 and I'm 52. I've seen some superb players at the club and I've seen some shit players. I've seen Gerard McMahon and fucking Ronnie Rosenthal on the bench. So I've seen probably more shit than you have.
Ronnie fucking Rocket. Don't fucking talk bad about Ronnie Rocket. Mate. What are we doing here?
We'd all love to see world-class players. No one's saying that. But what I'm saying is, at the moment, for what we have, I'd love to see Jurgen Klopp there and given like 200 million and see what he could do. But at the moment, I just think this manager, he just looks very weak to me. He looks passionless.
He's mid-table strategy, John, isn't he?
Yeah, he reminds me of Hoddle when he stood there like a pillock, not knowing what to do. If you look at Conte, he's going fucking mad at people like that, right? Mourinho did it.
I loved Conte.
They had passion. This manager is looking at players, they're fucking up, and he's not doing anything about it. And I watch these bloody things, these videos they put on, and I see people like Brennan Johnson and Archie Gray pissing around, nudging each other like little 12-year-old schoolgirls. I would fuck that off out of my club tomorrow. You need you need a strong mentality manager to come in and go, this needs to change. This is not
the thing is, John, how do we know? Because how do we know he hasn't said that? How do we know?
I'm not saying he hasn't, but I'm just saying this is what we need to change the culture of the club. I agree with
what I was saying. Yeah,
the culture of the club.
I've been saying it's been a problem for too many years.
The other thing is with it, the way it is at this club, unless you have an attacking manager, people are going to complain. Because people still thinks there's this Spursy way of playing football. I'm sorry, I don't dig it. And if it was there, like I had the debate with others, well, it hasn't been there for 30 years out of 60 years, so it can't be a very set way.
We had it under Poch, Dan.
Yeah, but that's total deal. The way we played under Poch was very different to what people say is the Spurs way.
I don't agree. To me, that was.
I'm only going by what I've debated with others. Yeah.
To me, that was the point.
What is the Spurs way to play football then?
To me, that was
the Spurs way to play football.
The DNA of Spurs was the way that Bill Nick played, the way Poch played, the way Keith Birkinshaw played.
Mm-hmm.
Attacking front foot.
Okay.
It also had a balance. It also had a balance of like say Pochettino, right? He never played without two good solid midfielders in front of the back four because he had the fullbacks bombing on and he had the double pivot covering the fullbacks, but he had a great balance to what he was doing. Like I'd have him back in a heartbeat.
What is this Spurs way of playing? What is the Spurs way of playing? Do tell me.
That you build out from the back and you high press, and that, like, I'm not saying you don't defend at times. Obviously, you need, like Ange. That was Ange's problem. He was too much the other way. You know, he was an idiot, like, basically. Don't
you think it's maybe at a point where a few people need to evolve and accept that it's 2025 and not 1985 or 2005?
No, because
that's how you get places, isn't it?
The fundamentals of the game are still the same. Obviously, the sports science department, all that things evolve.
The football's totally different, though. The football is 100% different to what it was. So you have to evolve to the modern day football, because the old school way of playing that football might not match the modern day football. So you have to evolve.
On the macro level, I don't think it's changed. I think a lot of micro things have changed in the game for sure.
I think it's changed big time.
Yeah, it depends what you're talking about. What do you mean?
I think the game's changed big time to what it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever else. Football does that. To me, football has a thing like music, like fashion, like everything. It goes round in a clock, basically.
Yeah, there's fashion.
And then it comes back on itself. So there'll be a certain style of play for 5 to 8 years, and then all of a sudden it'll go a different way, and then almost come back on itself.
But my point is that the fundamentals don't change, Dan, is my point. Like, you win your duels, you win the second balls, you play with moral courage, where you keep the ball rolling, you pass the ball forward, and people make runs for you. You make a run for your teammate.
So basically, you're saying stick to a spine line, but adapt the rest of it as such.
But well, for me, like, what Frank is doing right now is not. It doesn't look like a long-term plan. Like if you're putting the ball out to Porro and you're fanging it down the line to Kudus to hopefully control it and try to build up from there. To me, that's not a top level strategy. That's not.
I agree.
You know, that, like, you have to play the ball. You have to have a structure in the midfield where, okay, when we get the ball and Romero has the ball, we have to have 3 options for him. 2 of them might be cut off at any point in time, but he has 1, right? To me, when Romero has the ball now, the only option he has is that Porro is dropping back into the fullback position, and then he's going to fang it up the line.
Would you say the style of football in the Premier League has changed in the past 5 years?
Yes, massively.
I think the fitness has drastically changed, and that's changed, and also that people are playing more out from the back in general.
I think football's actually gone backwards in itself on the skill.
It's more systematized. It's all systematized now.
Football now, it's gone back to almost a little bit more physical, a little bit more long ball, a little bit more this. It's not about the it's not about the tick-attacker anymore, or people bombing up the wings anymore.
If you're talking about the last 12,
and that's where it adapts.
If you're talking about the last 12 months, there's more direct football now than there was 12 months ago. But 12 months ago, everybody was trying to play out from the keeper, and people were criticizing that. So, like, it's fast moving now, how it's adapting, how it's changing. I think overall, the main things that have changed in football is that there's far more analysis, there's far more data, and there's far more fitness levels than before. Those are things that we can all agree have changed for sure.
So do we go and get a manager that plays this Spurs way that I just really don't see, that if it's only been there for 20, 30 years out of the past 60, 70 years, it can't be much of a Spurs way, in my opinion. Or do we go and get a manager that is adapted to modern day football? Or do we go and get this manager that just plays the Spursy way to keep the Spursy fans happy? What one's going to work better?
Are you guys
it's just a question.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you guys entirely of the? Because I think that this, like, the pivot in the fan base, and again, we have to remind everybody that the fan base doesn't really matter until you start seeing decisions that are being made by the people that are employed by the football club, or the decision makers that own the football club that are affected by the short-term frustrations of a fan base. Right? The fan base will be temporarily happy, but perennially unhappy. Right? They're always waiting. It's just the way the world works. Right? You're always waiting for the next chance to pivot negative. And so, if the fan base are literally infecting the mind of Thomas Frank, that's a massive concern for me. Ange Postecoglou, rightly or wrongly, he went, no, this is my way. Shut the fuck up. I'm doing it my way. And Ruben Amorim has said, if you want something different, get a different guy. Right? I don't care what the fan. They don't know football. They're not watching our players train. They don't know. I'm here. I'm paid a lot of money. I'm going to do it my way, and I kind of respect it, even though it can obviously be frustrating if you're not.
That wasn't the problem with Ange, Sean. Obviously, I liked that about him. The problem with Ange was that he was trying to bring in a method that works in leagues where you can press, and they're not able to play through the press because they're not good enough, and you can smother teams in that way, right?
Well, my problem with Ange was more around the fact that he kept changing his. He kept saying one thing one week and another. Like it was a hypocrite, right? Like trying to deflect.
But ultimately he had a tactic that didn't work and he didn't adapt.
Yeah, correct, right?
Yeah,
but like, are we all of the mindset right now? Because the players, I mean, I got in trouble with this the other day when I got like on Spurs 5 on Thursday night. You know, I got sent a clip and I pulled it up. It was a bit of fun. It went there like a pint of warm sick with Tel calling it disingenuous about the fact that he had said earlier on in the season that the players aren't good enough, and then recently he said, "Oh, we've got to stop hearing that the players aren't good enough." So I thought it was good fun anyway. But that was
funny. That was funny that his reaction was funny.
Yeah, his reaction was funny.
He was not having it but and in fairness to him, I actually understood what he was trying to say, but you were just having a laugh, and he should have just realised that.
Fun. But also, I wasn't the person who made the clip. Maybe I shouldn't have even shown it. But either way, the reality is that tonight the fans are now pivoting. I've just looked. Henry Wright saying, "Sack the guy." Barnaby Slater, get this fraud out. Right, a lot of people. I'm sort of keeping an eye on some of the comments in We Are Tottenham TV. I'm seeing it on you guys on the chat here. There's there's still 1,000 people here, by the way. It's amazing, unbelievable numbers today, unbelievable. But
I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it.
But I just simply do not believe that these players. I think that the gap between these players and some of the other teams we have, I think it's fair to say, is a lot tighter. So I'm okay with the notion of, you lose a couple of games, you lose some games, you win some, lose some.
It's how you lose.
It's like the way that we lost today.
Yeah, it's how you lose.
Fucking outrageous. We didn't lay a glove on them. We didn't lay a glove. It's like going into a boxing match and doing this, right? And then eventually they finally get through. They punt. They break your guard, and then you take a knee, and then you ask someone to throw in the towel.
There's too many games that we watch where we're looking at the team and we're like, there isn't a cohesive. It's like a team of individuals, and that's never.
I think that the role of the manager is to make the sum greater than the parts.
Yeah,
that's the role of the manager. Simplify it.
You know that idea of any time when I've seen a team where I don't like what I'm watching here, in terms of the coach, is when the players are too far apart, and they look like when they get the ball that they don't know where their teammate is, and they're trying to do something on their own, and that's the way we look in too many games.
Guys, there's something that stood out for me last season with Glasner. And I'm not a Glasner fanboy, but I just thought it was quite prominent when they said about he played against Manchester City and he was going to play them in the final, wasn't he? Was he going to play them in the semi-final? I think it was coming up in the FA Cup. And he said something after the Manchester City game about Guardiola. And they said, what if he does that to you in the next game in the FA Cup? And he said, well, then I'll know what he's doing because we worked it out. I worked it out what he was doing in this match and I will beat it, right? I don't hear anything like that from Frank. I don't think anything positive or productive to hang my hat on and go, this guy is actually making me think that there's something that he's building on. It just sounds like he's talking about other teams, bigging up other teams, how great they are. We're going to lose games.
Do you know the way different managers have? Do you know the way different managers have different strengths? What I see the strength in Frank is that he's a very good guy at developing individuals. Like I think he's even got a performance coach for individual players. Like I think he's a guy that will go, this is what you need to improve, and he gives them video and he's like, you need to practice this on the training field. And I think he's very, very good at that.
Possibly in these comments, he's literally saying it was Archie Gray's fault and it was nothing to do with Vicario. So I think if you're going to talk about individual players, if I was the manager, I would say that's one of those things. You know, it was a collective mistake. But he's called out Archie
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general, I think that he is a very good developer of individual players. Like
I
you can
haven't
see,
really seen anyone massively develop under him so far, and I know it's not.
well, it's at Brentford that happened. Like I'm saying, over time, I would imagine that would be possible at Tottenham.
The
as well.
expectation is very different at Brentford because they're a club that's happy to be.
No, listen, I'm a guy that wouldn't be unhappy if he was sacked. I'm not saying he's great. I'm just saying.
What do we do in January? I'm
just saying that I think that's what he's good at. You know what I mean?
What do you think we do in January?
I agree with you at Brentford, but I haven't seen it so far.
But I would imagine it would happen at Spurs as well over time if we give him time.
That lack of passion on the touchline, that lack of
he's
getting rockets up players and telling them you're not doing the basics.
Yeah.
I don't care if they come off and they get battered, but they put everything into that game. But they're absolutely not.
Right.
They're not.
2 questions in.
Saying about the boxer, you put everything into it and you get beat by the better boxer. No problem. You've given everything. You've left it all in that ring, but they're not leaving everything on the pitch. No way.
I agree.
Does Frank give you anything
coming up?
Has Frank give you anything to give you a bit of hope on him yet? To think that he's the
nothing
one?
to me. He's not proven anything to me.
No.
I'm with you, Dan, in as much as like it's a really difficult position to be in because I think that I don't trust the guy. I don't rate him. I was never on board him. I was never necessarily against him, but I was like, oh, okay. But like, really, what are we going to do here? He hasn't won me over in any way, shape, or form. This notion of like, you have to give him more time. How long is a piece of string, right? How long are you supposed to give him?
Exactly.
I convinced myself that he could adapt.
One second. Let me just quickly land my point. You need to give him something to give us something to get to buy into. The notion that the players are not good enough, to me,
I don't agree with that.
Is okay if the level of expectation is to be top 3 or top 4. I completely agree. But if it's to be able to compete against Nottingham Forest and Fulham and Bodo and Monaco, I'm sorry, I just don't. I disagree entirely.
Yeah, because the expectation is not to be top 3. Nobody's saying
the expectation isn't to be there. The expectation is to be 5th, 6th, or 7th.
Yes, exactly.
It's reasonable, and I think that we have a squad that's capable on paper and in depth to be able to do that, and we're nowhere near that. Nottingham Forest. And that to me is like. So just real quick. That's where I get in this sticky situation. My expectations are not top 4 or top 5. Against top 4 or top 5 teams, I expect us to have a go. I expect us to try. And I don't mind if we lose, but as long as we put an effort in. Against teams like Forest, against teams like Fulham, against teams like Wolves, those sorts of games where we've been absolutely fucking shambolic in the Premier League, my expectation is input and output. I'll take. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That happens. But like, I have to see something. I haven't seen enough, and so I land and go, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit there and just say it's just the players. It fucking isn't. What's the point of the manager, right? But what I will say is that also the idea of sacking the manager right now, 3 weeks into a new before a January transfer window. Also, I don't like the idea of him saying I'll wait until the next window and then him not getting the next window. Right? That's a problem. So I'm stuck in a fucking quandary where my heart says, like, he ain't the guy. He isn't the guy, and I've got no backing on him. But my head also says, I don't think it's smart to sack him right now.
We're kind of, a lot of us are in that position where
it's a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah,
sort of thing that we're in at the moment. And I think the problem is with it at the moment is I was definitely like interested getting Frank in. Yep, I think he can adapt whatever. The thing I'm questioning with, he has done nothing as yet to prove me or give me any sort of hope that we are going to actually improve. If we keep playing football like we're playing under Frank, we ain't going to end up top 10, like top 8. Like, this team is good enough for a top 8 as far as I'm concerned. Player for player, I would say this team is a top 8. We should not be getting hard games like bloody Bodo Glimt, struggling with games like this, struggling with games and getting totally schooled by Fulham and that, yeah? I think this team is good enough for a top 8. But the way we are playing, we can easily look at a 12th to 15th as far as I'm concerned. For the goals we're conceding, not scoring many as goals, we're not looking as good on the pitch. I think we can easily end up 15th. Do we end up 17th? No, I don't. But the way we're going at the moment, this is probably the worst start for us in a season. In how many? Ange did not start this bad in either of his 2 seasons.
Yeah, well,
Where
I-
are
was
we?
one of
Where
the
are we
worst
in the fucking
managers
league,
I've
right?
ever
I
seen.
haven't even looked at the fucking league to be honest. Let me get this. Let me get it up.
if you look at like the way Potts started, you could kind of see the structure that he was trying to build. So you could buy into like, okay, over time, this guy might only finish sixth this year with a very good squad, but there's a structure here that we can build upon. And he did build upon it. And all of a sudden, the next season, the three strikers were interchanging a lot more and all that kind of stuff. But like there was a playing out from the back, and there was a solidity defensively in the first season already. Whereas, as I'm saying with Frank, like those things are not. I'm not seeing the phase one, and I'm not seeing the defense the way it needs to be. That kind of platform to build on.
We bang mid-table, right? 6, drawn 4, lost 6, scored 25, conceded 21. We are we're bang fucking average. We are bang fucking average. Everything about us is bang average.
And
We're going to end.
those teams we've struggled against have not got significantly better midfield. Fulham, Wolves.
This argument that it like again, I had to disagree. I know like Saba fucking like, oh, you're trying to what was it he said? I love Saba to pieces, but you know, Saba and I have these rows all the time. I love him to pieces. But when he says when you're trying to throw me under the bus or whatever, I wasn't trying. Well, I forget what it was. Whatever the turn of phrase was, I wasn't. I'm just trying to remind him of a couple of things. The first thing is about the whole like the notion that he had made his mind up on Ange after 10 games. After 11 games, he'd made his mind up and he reminded everybody about it all last season. When people were like, oh, I'm not new to this fucking Ange out train. And then he brought up that thing. Whenever I remind him of it, he's like, oh, you're trying to fucking do me dirty. I'm not.
He said that the squad last season was a top 6 squad as well. I remember him saying that.
I don't remember that. My memory's fucking terrible, man. I don't remember what I said yesterday.
I'm not having to go with Saba because I thought he was very good. We had a very good debate today with him, but I'm just saying, and I thought like I didn't think he was wrong. Like he made a lot of good points, but he did say last season.
I wasn't trying to mug him off.
No, I know.
I was reminding him of what he said.
Yeah, but he said that was a top 6 squad last year. He did say that. I remember him saying it.
But this notion that like he said, oh, our midfield's fucking terrible, and then when you go, what? So Xavi's terrible. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the midfielders. Okay, so Palhinha's terrible. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the midfielders.
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about?
One midfielder.
One midfielder. So one midfielder changes everything, and then it's like no. And I'm like, well, like, come on, like we all wanted Palhinha, and Saba and I specifically, like, and I'm not trying to say this in a big-headed way because it's looking like it's a bit of a shit show right now. But even though I don't think he's to blame, but I was on his stream and we were talking about signing Mathys Tel in April, and I said to him, rather than signing if we're trying to work off the Bayern money, rather than signing Mathys Tel, why don't we sign Palhinha? And he went, bang, great idea. And then from there, that was the narrative, and all the fan base. I'm not taking credit for the whole narrative, but I'm saying, but the narrative emerged from there that we were going to get Palhinha. We go and end up getting him. Everyone's happy with Palhinha. And now the narrative is, well, our midfield isn't good enough. And I was like, well, of the three positions. Hang on 1 second, Danny. Let me finish my point, mate. Let me finish my point. Of the 3 positions in midfield, everyone wanted Palhinha, give or take. Not everybody, maybe, but most people wanted it.
Majority.
Everybody was over the moon with Xavi. So what are we saying that, like? And by the way, a lot of people fucking rate Bentancur as well. A lot of people do. I don't. A lot of people do. As far as the kids go, fair enough, right? Take your pick. You rate Berghvall, but not enough to start, fine. You rate Sarr, but not enough to start, fine. You rate Gray, not enough to start, fine. Whatever. But if you're saying that the reason why our midfield is so shit is because of one missing player, that's a problem for me. It's inconsistent.
Sean,
but things you always think a team is worse when it's doing badly, like the individual players. I used to watch a lot of Spanish football back in the day. And I remember when Guardiola came into Barcelona and they were in a bad state. They were mid-table. And I remember what people were saying. They were saying Ronaldinho is a lazy shite. He never works. He's not a player. And Xavi Hernandez is on the wane. He's gone, right? And, I mean, you saw what happened once a manager came in and set the structure and got everything together. Xavi Hernandez became the greatest midfielder of our generation. And Ronaldinho was the Ballon d'Or winner, Like it's some when things are shit, people do blame individuals, and you have to parse it out better than that for me, because it's not always that way. Like our team is top 7. Like for me, it's a top 7 squad. Like I don't care what anyone says. For me, it's a top 7, top 8 squad.
It's a top 7 squad when our players are fit.
Yeah, but like who's missing?
Maddison and Kulu, who are contributing to nearly 40 goals and assists last season.
Yeah, but like you brought in Javi.
Yeah, but Brian, but Javi is not a proven Premier League footballer. This is, again, I'm going back to Sava's context, right? Because people seem to love saying all these things without the context, right? Javi Simmons is a 22-year-old who's never played in the Premier League before. And even he, in the interview the other day with Wayne Rooney, if anyone watched it, he was even saying that he's only just started to feel like at home, right? He needs time to bed in. He's not going to come into the Premier League at 22. Not every player can come in and hit the ground running. It doesn't work.
I've heard
like
a lot
that,
of people, yourself
right?
included, called Kulu shit last year. So let's not pretend.
I never call Kulu shit. What are you talking about? Don't try lie, Sean. Now I'm one of the ones who's always defended Kulu because everyone calls him shit, and I'm the one who says I love Kulu. I think he's a fucking brilliant player.
So the fan base called him
Don't
shit.
ever try to say that, Sean. That's a lie.
Not relaxed. So the fan base called him shit because I'm pretty sure I remember you saying it at times before. If I'm wrong,
I never called Kulu shit.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Because my memory's not great. But the fan
they're
base,
they're not drastically worse than what we have now. Like you've got Mwani's. Mwani's a good player, like, and Kudus is a very good player.
Yeah, but again, right? The problem is, I am gonna kind of go back to what Sava was saying. The context, right? Mwani is not a goal.
People have to stop saying the word context, but when they're moving goalposts. By the way,
it's not moving goalposts. It's that you lot are not looking at the overall picture. You're picking and choosing things to suit your argument, but you're not giving the full story. So give the full story.
Would you say Frank
debate
has got a better or worse team than what Ange had last season?
Right now, it's about the same.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a question.
It's the same.
So why is he doing worse?
But is he doing worse though?
Well, yeah. If you compare it to this time last season,
let me give you some context, Stan.
Why do you keep bringing
context? Hold on. Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. Right. So the context is right. Look at the Premier League this season, and how many points is it between 14th and 5th? It's 4 points. 4 points between 14th and 5th. That tells you how inconsistent teams are in the league this season. So it's not just Tottenham, it's everyone. Newcastle. Let me ask you a question. Hold on. I'm going to ask you a question now, right? Has Newcastle got a better squad than Tottenham Hotspur?
Newcastle better squad, player for player. I wouldn't say they have, but when they
play as a team, not better squad. No.
I'd say as a team they work better together.
They're muchness. Like.
But why is that, Dan? Because they've had a manager who's been building that squad for a couple of years now, and you know Newcastle
fans want him gone.
But Newcastle fans might want him gone, Sean, right? But at this moment in time, they are still a club that have done relatively better to what they were doing before with the manager they've had building the team over a number of years. Right?
Dan, this is our worst start since 2008, 2009.
Yeah, but Dan, we can say that about so many other clubs as well.
Okay, and at the end of the season, we can make the proper judge. But I can only judge by what I see. And at the moment, I see no improvement.
A club like Liverpool spent £500 million, and then look how bad they're doing, and they're the Premier League champions.
Danny, are you seeing coaching?
So I don't give a shit, Dan. Why do I care what Liverpool and Man U are doing?
And I don't give a shit about these fucking shit players that we have at this football club.
Danny, are you seeing the coaching?
I'm moaning because all of you lot.
They're not good enough, Dan.
I am moaning because you lot think that we should be doing better than what we're doing.
You don't.
No, you think we should be doing better than what we're doing, and I'm saying where we are is exactly where we're supposed to be.
No, we should be doing better. We should be playing better.
Not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell.
Oh, Danny, relax, man. You seem really aggressive.
When
I am aggressive.
We should be trying harder. We should be fighting for more second balls. We should be more disciplined, and we should be more engaged. Those things are not about talent; they're about mindset.
Why?
And
Why?
Why what?
Why should we be those things? Where's the evidence that these players can do that on a consistent basis? Where's the evidence?
I watched the Republic of Ireland team as well as the Spurs team, right? So there's been times where the Republic of Ireland have had good players, and I was saying, you know, we could maybe get a little bit more out of this. And there's times where you're looking at the team and you're like, we literally don't have the like now. Well, worse a year ago, but like we literally don't have the players, and you can see it very clearly that the coach is really up against it. So my point is that there's times you can look at a team and you're like, the players are there, and the coach is not doing enough with them, or the players are somewhat there, which is where I'd say where we are with Spurs right now, and that there isn't a structure that's you can see that he's getting the most out of them. Like at the moment, it's like you can see when a team is really well coached, but the players aren't quite there. I mean, you can say with Areola at Bournemouth, say they're extremely well coached, but they don't have enough to get the top four. Like you can parse it out. Like to me, looking at Spurs, they should be doing better than they are.
I don't think they should, because I don't think the players are good enough. I think again
they're not good enough to go top three. Like they're not good enough.
I don't think they're good enough for top six. I don't, because we have said this before. Last season, right? We had 60 goal contributions.
So you're okay. You're okay with what you're seeing, then, yeah?
Sean, I am only going to judge it when I start seeing quality come through this door. I don't give a crap where we finish. As long as we don't finish 17th, if we finish 10th in the league,
why are you so angry tonight?
No, I'm not angry. I'm angry because you lot think we should be doing better than we are when you lot don't want to look at the context.
You're angry with us. Problem.
You don't look at the context, and Spurs fans.
Johnny, how do you rate
context? Stop saying context.
I will say context every single day of the week.
Overused fucking phrase in the.
How do you rate Danny? Danny, how do you rate? How do you rate the 4 players we brought in? How do you rate the 4 players we brought in? Is Kudus a good player?
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
Is Xavi a good player?
I think he will be a good player.
Is Moani a good player?
Remains to be seen.
Is Paulinho a good player?
I think he is good at doing certain things that he's as good at doing a specific job, right? But I don't think he's good at other things.
So we brought in four players that improved our first team.
But what did we lose?
Danny, let me ask you this.
So we lost Dominic Solanke.
Is Micky van der Ven?
So Sean, you asked me something. Can I finish the question? Can I answer?
Sure.
Right. So we lost Dominic Solanke, right? We haven't seen him this season, right? We lost Son, who even though was getting worse and worse, was still
Danny, you want to rid of him. You want to rid of him last year.
Right. We all wanted rid of him, but he still contributed more than any other our players have contributed this season combined, right? We've lost Maddison and we've lost Kulu. That's a lot of goals and assists that we have got out of this team. And the players that we have brought in are not players who are hitting those type of numbers because they're not seasoned pros like those.
Do you know that we're scoring? We're in the top 5 scorers. We're in the top 5 scorers in the league.
Yeah,
I know, which is why I think Frank is doing a good job. This is the thing. None of you seem to. All of you think he's doing a bad job. I think he's doing a good job. I think he's doing very good with what he's got. I honestly believe that. I think you guys are delusional to think that he should be doing better. That's what I think is delusional.
Danny,
okay,
do you think this squad?
Can I get back to my question now then?
Yeah.
Do you rate Christian Romero, Danny, as a World Cup winning, 5 out of 6 final winning centre back? Do you rate Christian Romero as a good enough centre back?
I'm debating that. I think he's
okay. Well, then I debate that. Then I think you're delusional on your football takes. If you think he's a bad centre back, then what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
I didn't say. Did I say he's a bad? Did I say he's a bad centre back?
No, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. No. He's good enough to be in the Tottenham team. The answer is yes.
He's a good defender, right? But again, Sean, to be at the levels that we want to be at, is he good enough? Because you said it earlier on in the stream yourself.
To be better than fucking Brentford.
You said it today. You said it today. All Romero wanted to do was tackle a Brazilian. You literally said that in the stream today.
Today he looked like that way. Yeah, he had a bad game today,
and he does that often.
Are you saying that the World Cup winning Romero, first name on the Argentinian team sheet, is not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur?
No, I think he's good enough for Spurs. Yes, I do think he's good enough for Spurs.
Okay, are you saying is Micky van der Ven good enough for Spurs?
Yes.
Okay. Is Paulinho good enough for Spurs?
Yeah.
Is Pedro Porro good enough for Spurs? Spanish international. Every
Debatable.
single. Is Jed Spence good enough for Spurs?
Yeah, he's good enough for Spurs.
Okay. I'm not even going to go into Destiny Udogie. Apparently Destiny Udogie is suddenly a shit player. He isn't, by the way, in my opinion.
I don't think he's a shit player
because
he's
like
always
most
injured.
voices say that he isn't, therefore he isn't. Anyway, so
But
that's
he's always
5
injured.
players you're happy with that we're now starting 11. Is Vicario good enough for Spurs?
No.
Fair enough. That's fine. I won't disagree with you. Is Xavi Simons, £55 million Dutch international player, Xavi Simons, good enough for Spurs?
Sean, right.
Is
you
Xavi
keep
Simons,
saying-
yes or no? Is Xavi
What?
Simons
Right,
good enough for
wait.
Spurs?
Right this minute, is Xavi Simons the player that we think he is? He's played.
Xavi Simons, he plays for Holland. He's played
Right,
for PSG.
I don't
played for
care if they
Barcelona,
play
he's played-
international football, Sean. I don't judge them if they play international.
So Xavi Simons is a bum, yeah? So Xavi Simons isn't good enough for Tottenham Hotspur.
Why are you? Did I say
Yes or
Xavi
no?
Simons?
I'm just
Did I
trying
say
to
that,
go
Sean?
for the team. Yes or no? Xavi Simons
Right,
good enough or
Xavi
not?
Simons can be a top player, but he hasn't shown it yet. He's shown.
So no.
He's shown a lot of
No,
good.
so Xavi
right?
Simons isn't good enough in your mind.
I think Maddison's a better player than Xavi Simons is right
I'm
now.
asking about
And
Maddison.
Maddison's-
I'm asking about Xavi Simons. Would you
Sean,
sell Xavi
what have
Simons
we,
right
what
now?
have we seen of Xavi Simons right now?
Would you sell Xavi Simons right now?
Why would I sell Xavi Simons?
Okay, fine. So you're happy with him then in the squad?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What was that? No, I don't want to.
I don't understand where you're going with this.
Because you're telling me that our squad is shit. Yeah, I just asked you 7 players and you said that 6 of them are good enough.
Sean,
I haven't even got to the forward line.
What did I say? I said there's about 7 or 8 players in this squad who I'd keep. The rest of them can bin off. I don't give a fuck about them. They're shit, right? I don't care. I don't care who the manager is. I really couldn't give a flying fuck, right? You can have Mr. Bean as the fucking manager. Literally, Mr. Bean could do a better job than what we're seeing right now, right? It doesn't matter.
Well, if you're saying Mr. Bean could do a better job as a manager than Frankie's right now, then you're obviously not rating Frank very high, are you?
I think Frank's an all right manager.
Oh, you're getting flip-flopped out of this. Just time for
I think Frank's an all right
So
manager.
basically what you're saying is our manager
We
is worth...
have a flip-flop. Everyone changes their mind. Like they didn't say that last time. We have a flip-flop, trying to erase the past. Well, buddy, you're having a laugh.
I think Ryan Mason should be our manager. It's like give him a 100-year contract. Perfect.
Who did you do the flip flop on?
Danny.
All right.
No, look.
Not Danny.
In all seriousness,
Danny.
right? I actually think it doesn't matter who the manager is, right? Until we get better players, we will never know what a manager can achieve at this football club. It's as simple as that. Sarr, I've been him off. The only youngster I'd keep in that squad right now, Berghvall maybe. Because I think he's got potential. But again, it's like we said earlier, we bought all these youngsters and we don't know what their role is. We don't know what they're actually supposed to be doing. We bought them just on their
Isn't that
potential.
Thomas Frank's role, mate?
Yeah. Isn't that
No,
down to the manager
Thomas
to get
Frank
the roles
didn't
right?
sign those players, did he?
Yeah, but isn't
I kind
it
of
his
feel like I
job?
don't really understand what
But
you're
hold
saying,
on.
Danny.
So you're
on the
just
one
basically
hand, on the one
you're-
hand, you're blaming the players, and the other hand, you're also saying that the manager you couldn't give a fuck if it was Mr. Bean or otherwise.
Because
Yeah.
I won't judge it until I see better players in this squad. Because we've had too many shit players for the last 5 years. Too many rubbish players that shouldn't be anywhere near Tottenham Hotspurs.
Should this
It
team
shouldn't.
be struggling? Should this team be winning games like today, or at least having a decent game as such against
Dan,
Forest,
this is
against
the
Bodo Glimt,
This
against
is the
Fulham,
problem with the
against
players. Did Frank tell them to go out? Did Frank tell them to go on the pitch and stand around and do nothing and put your head down when you're losing? Did Frank tell them to do that? No.
Did
That's
Frank
the
tell them
players.
to go out and stick 11 men behind the ball?
Did Frank tell
When we
them to
played
not,
Arsenal.
Did Frank tell them, Dan, to not go and press against the man and to not try and fight for everything? Do you think he sat there and said, "Do you know what, Spurs players?
Well,
I'll
that's
tell
the
you what,
fucking
go
problem.
out there on the pitch
Then
today."
you
Right,
don't
this
have-
is- so
then
hold on,
you
Sean.
don't
This
have-
is common. This is based on what you're.
Mate, Danny, you're not listening to mate. The whole what's the point of a manager?
What's the point of a
He
player?
needs to give clear
No, what's
direction.
the point of the manager? The manager is to set up team instructions and for the players to listen to them.
Yes.
And if the players are not listening, whose fault is it?
The managers.
The manager.
Oh my god. Oh my god. If the players are not listening to simple fucking instructions, then the players are at fault.
What are we doing?
The manager.
So are you telling me, right? Thomas Frank went out there today, right, in the changing room, just before the game, and said, I'll tell you what, Spurs players, I want you to go out on the pitch, stand around, don't give 100%, don't move around, and I want you just to play like that. Do you think he said that?
Short term. In the
No,
short term.
no, he
in the
didn't.
short
I
term,
think
we can-
if the manager said something different and the players didn't do it, then they're not listening to the manager. That's on the manager.
Oh my, how is that on the manager?
Because
No,
that's
hold on,
his
hold on.
fucking job, Danny.
The manager can't fucking control them. He tells them what to do. If they don't fucking listen, it's the players.
Then they don't respect him.
Oh
and he has
my
to go.
god.
In the-
Oh my god. I know. I'm sorry. I can't listen to this bullshit.
That can happen.
You
That
say
can
this about
happen.
every single manager that comes into this football
Listen,
club.
lads,
The
listen.
players don't listen to the manager. Let's get rid of the manager again.
Danny, that can happen in the short term.
It's ridiculous.
And you blame the players if it's the short term, right? But if it keeps happening over and over and over again, then you have to start looking at the manager that he's not getting his message across. You know what I mean?
No, it's not that. It's the players. They are not held accountable because they don't give a shit. They think they've got too much power, right? If they don't like
Why
something,
do other clubs
they
listen
throw
to
their
the
dummy
What's-
out the
what's
pram
manager?
and wins like a little
What's the manager?
baby. Because
Why do other
the
clubs-
players,
why-
the players they decide to turn up when they feel like it, not when the
Why do
manager
other
tells
clubs?
them.
Why do other clubs get the players to listen to the manager then?
What's that?
Why do other clubs get the players to listen to the manager?
What clubs?
Like
All
clubs
clubs.
that are doing well,
What clubs are doing well?
like say Villa.
Villa have had
He
their
asked
manager.
that question.
But how
He
many
asked
years
that
has
question
Villa
like
had
no
their manager
club is
for?
doing well.
Brian, how many? Okay,
Any of
right.
them?
Let's go
Any
through
of
these
them,
teams
dude?
then. Come on then, genius. Let's go through these teams, Sean. Right? How many years has Pep been at Man City? How many years has Emery been at Aston Villa? How many years
So players are only expected to start listening after a certain amount of time.
Oh my god, are you stupid? Because these managers have had time to implement what they want and to get the players in that they want. It's not that
So
fucking
asking a player
difficult.
to try hard it needs time, does it?
If the player doesn't want to try hard, Sean, that's on the player. That's not on the manager.
Danny Unai Emery took those players.
When I used to play football, Sean, right?
Immediately.
I didn't need a manager to tell me to go and play fucking well. I did that because I had pride in my own performance. I didn't need a manager to gear me up to play a football match, right?
They listened to
Danny, you're
Unai
not-
Emery
with all due
straight
respect,
away.
mate. With all due respect, bro, your footballing historical value is irrelevant to the conversation.
It's not, Sean, because when you
It
play
is.
football, which I'm not sure you did play football, because you've told me you never used
No,
to
but
play
I played
football.
rugby to a
You played
semi-professional level, mate.
Right.
So I understand the idea of team sports.
Right, but so when you played rugby then, Sean, did you have to rely on your manager to get you geared up for a game? And then when you get onto that pitch, right, who's the one that's saying to you and making you perform at your best level? Who's making you do that? Is that you within yourself, or is that the manager?
If I'm not doing what the manager's asked me, then I obviously
That's
don't
on
respect
you.
the manager.
Yeah,
Obviously, I don't
that's on-
respect the manager.
that
And then
is
if the
the
manager
player's
continues to
fault.
pick me, if the manager continues to pick me, despite the fact that I'm ignoring what he's saying.
So
then
why
what
is he
does that say?
picking that? Why? So
What's
okay.
the point of having a manager, Danny? What's the point of a manager?
What's
What
the
are we
point?
doing here, mate? This is
So,
so
so
fucking
hold on,
stupid.
Sean.
So we've gone past the point of value. Right, we've gone past the point of value now. To the people that are listening, this is now just ridiculous. That dog is making more fucking sense than you are, Danny. I'll be honest, mate.
Sean, you don't make any sense at all. You're just going in circles because you're not listening because you don't like what I'm saying. That's your problem. You don't want to listen.
I
to
don't
the
have a
fact
problem.
that-
Who said I had a problem?
Because you just said a second ago, right, that if the players are not listening to the manager, you said earlier on that's on the players. How is that on the players?
If the players
players
aren't
are not
listening to the if the players aren't listening to the manager, how is that on the players?
How's it on the manager? You said it's on the manager, right?
Because if the manager can't
his
invoke their
fucking
fucking
job,
message,
Danny.
if the manager can't create a fucking ecosystem where
That's his
the
job.
players, what are you talking about? What is the
Right.
fucking point
My
of the
whole-
manager?
my-
No one
my-
listens to him.
Right, Sean, my whole argument is the fact that the players are not, if they're not listening to the manager, that is on the players. That's not
Yeah,
on
and
the
you're
manager.
fucking stupid, mate. It's a
Because
stupid fucking take.
these players are shit. They're fucking
All right, listen.
shit.
Listen. We're going around in circles, boys. We're going for 3.5 hours. It's time to round off. Final words, Danny, Brian, Danny, Johnny Boy. We've been going too long now. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous take, Danny. No, Danny, I was willing to go for 7 hours, mate. But the level of the conversation has just dropped so fucking violently fast. I was willing to go all night. I was going to turn this into a charity stream until that fucking take from you, and I just realised that what are we doing here after 3.5 hours? They say like nothing good happens after 3 a.m. Nothing good happens on streams after 3 hours because Danny Kiriakou makes absolute nonsense rhetoric and then tries to say that we're all delusional. Absolute insanity.
Because
Brian,
you're all going to see it.
mate?
You're all going to see it. You're all going to see it. You're all going to see it. You just don't
Danny,
want to see
you're
it.
really
That's the
aggressive
problem.
and shouted all the way through this, and there's no need for it. Everyone else has been polite and said their piece, but you've been aggressive from the off. No, there's no need to be like that.
Yeah, I don't think that's his fault. I mean, come on, maybe it's just that time of the month. You know,
That's just his Greek nature. It's just lunatic.
I think that was an even worse fucking comment than Danny.
You know, maybe it's just that time of the month, or is it his menopause? I don't know. Just one of them days, isn't it? It's the game.
I just think I honestly, I think none of you you're just all too kind to these Spurs players and everything that's going on.
Oh no! I'm one of the ones who's
saying
what
do we fucking do?
Off the pitch, I say they deserve to get booed off the pitch. Yeah, when
so
they're
do I,
doing
Dan.
crap,
I think 15,
same as a manager does.
15 players in the squad. Yeah, right. I think 15 players in the squad.
So the players have been doing shit. They deserve to get told and booed off that pitch. Same as when they've done good. I don't
think they should be at this football club.
But right, fine. But when the club is also doing shit, then the manager deserves to get booed off and told about himself as well, as he deserves to get clapped when it's doing right. It's got to work both ways. For me, this team is better, can get better.
I think they can only get better when you bring in better players. It's not that difficult to understand. So everyone was talking. People on the panel were talking about. Oh, Aston Villa this and Arsenal this and who's the other? Newcastle this, right? All of those teams, you're all talking about managers who have been there for years and have built what they want to build. Frank, I'm sorry, cannot change a team that finished 17th and the mentality of a team that finished 17th in a short space of time.
You're saying that Frank needs 3 years to really start this.
I think you give him the summer window, then you maybe give him the January window after that, and if you still don't see any improvements after that, then he shouldn't be here.
Okay, well that's fair. That's fair, Danny. I honestly I'd say that's fair. Like,
yeah. But what do you do? At the moment, you're seeing no improvement. Yeah, at the moment, we are looking worse than what we did under Ange.
I'm
just telling you how it is at the moment on the paper. We are looking worse than what we did under Ange. So he has given me nothing as yet. I'm not saying out, but I'm sort of like proper 50-50 with it. In the aspect, doubt, yes. So what do we do in January then? It's like, what do you do when you're ill? Do you sit there and just think, don't worry, my immune system will sort this out, and then all of a sudden realise that you should have gone to hospital because you should have gone doctors because you're now in fucking hospital, yeah? Or do you just sit there and ride it through? So what do we do in January then? Do we sit there and say, right, Thomas Frank really ain't doing the job at the moment, but we're going to stick by him through thick and thin and buy players in summer or in January for Thomas Frank? Or should the club actually step back here and say, right, this really ain't going sweet at the moment. We'll ride it till the end of the season, but in January, we're going to buy players for the club, not for Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
If they do that,
I feel like some loan deals might be the way to go. No non-committals.
Yeah, maybe, but like, where do you go from here then? Like, what do you guys want?
I don't know. So guys, we've been going for 3.5 hours though. It's well past the time of
my pizza.
The witching hours come and gone. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody: Johnny Boy, Danny, Sava, Danny Kiriakou, Brian, Great to have you back on, Brian, as well, by the way. Haven't seen you for ages, buddy. Guys in the chat, massive thank you to everyone. Last super chat of the night. By the way, you guys have been super generous today over the watch along and the post match analysis. Ori Kakakaka ta has said we played well for 3 games, badly for 1. Meltdowns are going to melt down, Ulrika. Meltdowns are going to melt down, and we're going to continue this conversation tomorrow. I want to say a massive thank you. Is there anybody streaming that I need to redirect to? I don't think there are. I think the other channels are going live a bit later on. So, guys, we're going to leave it there. But massive thank you to Danny. Get over to the Hotspur Hood. Get over to... you guys haven't got any channels, have you? Get over to the Rabbit Hole Ramblings. I might even go live at Rabbit Hole Ramblings tonight, 9 p.m. Check it out.
Somebody called me Dana White there in the chat. So go to UFC, guys. Look at there's some
UFC tonight, is there?
Some good fights coming up.
Yeah, amazing. Get over to UFC for Brian. Redirecting to the UFC. Fucking hell. Dana White better throw me $100,000 at the blackjack table.
I'd
guys,
rather watch UFC than football all day long.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible right now. It is what it is. By the way, do check out OK Jersey. Go and search for OK Jersey. 8% off your checkouts. You know what to do, guys. You know the game. Go and get yourself something good. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you all, as always. Bye.